This is the XNC Podcast, your Xbox newscast, featuring Colteastwood and Mag, hosting industry interviews and gaming talk live on YouTube every Monday night at 5 p.m. on the West Coast, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. For all of you listening around the world, XNC Podcast is available on demand on Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. Welcome to the show. Join the chat, hit the like button, and let's get into this week's topics with the Xbox newscast. Welcome, everybody, to the XNC Podcast, episode 224. I am Colteastwood. And
you are?
Yes, last I checked.
Wow.
Oh, yep, still Colteastwood. And
all right.
Welcome back. I've got Mag here, the
yes, sir.
soon-to-be World Series champion. We missed
Correct.
the show on Monday because it was Game 7. It came down to the wire. Mariners versus the Blue Jays. And not a lot of people here are probably baseball fans, but we were watching, biting our toenails and fingernails down to the nub. Me, especially with the toenails. And you were there, Mag. You were at the game in Toronto.
I was at the game. My brother messaged me the night before, and he said, I've got an extra ticket because he was supposed to go with his son. And my brother bought what's called quarter season tickets. So you could buy them like 3 quarters through the year, and you can only, you pay like X amount of dollars, and then you have like the last month of the season, and then you have dibs on all playoff games and everything. For example, he even got face value games for games 1, 6, and 7 for the World Series, and face value. So it's actually not that bad when you consider. Sure, you can buy a ticket for $5,000 each, but he got them for like $150, $200 a ticket, like just like regular, World Series prices. So he calls me and he says, my nephew, his son was sick, and he goes, "You want to go to the game?" He goes, "My other brother was going anyway with my cousin Psycho Steve." And so they were all going anyway. So I'm like, dude, of course I'm going to go. So obviously I went, and then, dude, it was wild. At the 7th inning, right after the 7th inning stretch where they do the stupid song and everybody's dancing,
yeah,
and whatever. And we do 2 songs in Toronto, by the way. There's the "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," which of course they play in all the American stadiums, and then we have another song which is our own song called "Okay Blue Jays, Let's Play Ball," whatever. And everybody's doing the dance. And I looked over at my brother, and I won't say the expletives that I said to him. And I said, if these effing bleeping son of a bleep blah blah bleep blah blah Blue Jays don't do something in the bottom of the 7th inning, I'm throwing my beer on the field and I'm leaving. And then all of a sudden, Springer hit a 3-run homer and won the ball game.
Yeah.
And the people around me were like, they're like, "Oh my God, this guy's super pissed." And I'm like, well, I was super upset and I was super drunk. So anyways, party went on all night. I'll fast forward. We were partying in the streets, went back to 2 different people's condos in the city. And I didn't get home till Tuesday at noon.
Oh my God!
Literally the next day. So when I was doing Magcast last night, because of all the screaming and everything else, I'm sure people saw my videos on Twitter, and I lost my voice. And so I'm trying to do Magcast last night, and I'm trying to record this video this morning. My voice is getting better now, but I sounded like Macho Man Randy Savage for Magcast last night, and my video this morning. And like I'm trying to talk, and like all I can hear is like, "And Sarah Bond had a meeting, yeah. And then she's talked about the Series X consoles and what's gonna come up in the next generation, yeah." And like that's basically what I sounded like. And I'm trying to do this video, and my voice keeps getting gruffer and gruffer as the video's going on, right? But anyways, it's slowly coming back, but I will lose it. It'll come in and out. But hey man, dude, I'm not 20 years old, but I was partying like I was 20 years old. That's for damn sure. And at 50, oh man, do you ever feel it? But anyways,
that's what
let's
Game
talk
Seeker
about
I
video
said.
games.
I said Mag's out partying all night for the World Series, and Seeker goes, "Man, at this age, you can't do that. It'll destroy you."
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
Oh, I did, but I'm still hungover. It's now Wednesday night, and I am 100% still hungover from Monday. That's how crazy the party was. It was it was way too much. And even when he was doing it, I'm sitting there going, "We are totally overdoing it. And I will pay the price for this." But that's all there is to it. Anyways, Jays in 5. See you later, LA Dodgers. You're not ready for what's coming. You're not ready. You're too cushy. You're too cushy. You're too soft. You're like, well, we're just winners. We what's his name say in that Talladega Nights? We piss excellence every morning.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And that's what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen? Then Vladdy Guerrero and the midget there, Alejandro Kirk is going to come in. They're going to start smacking balls out of the park. Otani's going to start crying, that big freak, and they're going to lose in 5.
Big freak.
That's what I'm saying.
He's one of the best baseball players in probably the past decade. Yeah,
I know. I'm just calling him that anyway because he's so big.
I'd never been this invested in an entire series, and it came down to the wire, and I was sitting here watching it on the 65-inch OLED and watching the Mariners get struck out, completely shut out for the last 2 innings. And I had my finger on the power button. And when that last pitch came in and Julio swung for a pitch that was 3 feet away, like right when he swung through it, I mean, I knew he wasn't going to touch the ball because he always does it. He does it every time. I went, boop, and I powered off the TV and I got up and I was like, oh my gosh. But
thank you, Mash.
I've been playing a lot of video games, and I have been busy like no other. My actual real job that I do from 6 in the morning till 4:30 has been ridiculously busy while I've been under review embargo for a big game. So watch out here on this channel tomorrow morning, first thing in the morning for you guys in North America, and middle of the day if you're in the UK or Australia. I've got an absolute masterpiece of a production for the review for Outer Worlds. I'm really happy with when I do the reviews. I really want you to feel like you're seeing the game without knowing anything about the story. I never talk about story. I don't even talk about characters. I don't even really talk about what you do in the quest. Just talk about mechanics, combat, presentation, audio, visuals, and just a feel of everything. And I cannot wait for you guys to watch this video, and I really hope you do. I also want to talk about a couple other games. Xbox is in an absolute peak right now. Never have they ever put out 10 to 12 games in an entire year, but 4 of them are coming out in a month, with 3 of the games, Mag, out in the same week and a half, with Ninja Gaiden 4, Keeper from Double Fine, and now Outer Worlds 2 launches in early access tomorrow, I think.
It's tomorrow, I believe.
Yeah.
Thursday. Yeah.
It's
It's tomorrow. And well, hold on. And then 3 weeks, you got Call of Duty. So it's been a very, very good year for Xbox. It's been a wonder. Like the whole year has been very balanced. For games. Yeah. No. We're not talking about people like to, only a Sith deals in absolutes. Whenever we say something bad, they think we're talking about bad about the whole thing. Or if we say something good, we're talking good about the whole thing. No. But in terms of their games and what they've been pumping out this year has been nothing short of outstanding, I think. And like I said, very balanced year. Started off with some other games. I mean, we had, what the hell's the one with the long arms? The long arms. The first person game. Why can't I think of the name? Avowed.
The long arms. Yeah, because
the
my
long
review,
arms.
I was at 110 or 100 field of view. Yeah. So in first person, it was like...
It's like the arms were like 19 feet long, and they're like this, and like you're holding like a dagger, and you're like this.
No, you're holding a little Harry Pond wand, and you.
So anyways, they had long arms in the first quarter. I don't think we go through everything.
Avowed's like an 81,
we had Avowed
80 or something,
and then
pretty good.
South of Midnight, great game. I loved it. One of my favorite Xbox games this year, believe it or not. Doom came out.
Obsidian
they had
remaster.
Tony Hawk in the summer.
Or Obsidian.
Not Obsidian.
Oblivion remaster.
Oblivion remaster. Good year.
Tony Hawk 3 and 4. What else?
Tony Hawk 3 and 4. Gears.
Gears Reloaded.
And then we dovetailed into Ninja Gaiden. I feel like I'm missing
Grounded
something.
2 in early access, which provided
2,
easily 20 plus hours for just
right.
the small segment they put out in early access. So that kind of counts.
Right.
What else was there,
and then
guys?
and then the 4 you just said now.
NC's Hexen.
Oh,
the Hexen.
Well, and then
Hexen. I can't remember the combo. It was like the old the Doom clone stuff from Bethesda came out. Indiana Jones DLC, which I haven't even touched yet.
Yeah. What's up, Falcon? How you doing, buddy? So yeah, there's that, and then the 4 games now. So you know what? Great year. Whether they can maintain that's entirely up to them. But this year has been a stellar year. I know that Boomstick did a video. He was talking about it, saying they could be Publisher of the Year, and I'm like, yeah, I think so. Like to me, this mirrors. Actually, I think this year was kind of bigger than the 2021 year where they did win Publisher of the Year.
Yeah.
So 2021, when they did win Publisher Year, which they, by the way, released the greatest Xbox game of this generation, which was Psychonauts 2, they won Publisher of the Year that year. So I think that there should be really no question.
As well. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a really good year for that. Now, as the company itself, hell no.
We're going to get into the games are great.
The games are great. Company,
not so great. We're going to talk about, I want to talk about that, but I want to ask you, since you and I haven't played, I've only previewed an hour of Ninja Gaiden 4.
Right.
And here on the show, we won't call it Ninja Gaiden. We'll call it Ninja Gaiden.
Hold. We're going to get canceled.
He's like ultra zesty Ryu Hayabusa. Yeah.
They're going to burn down cities because of this.
Absolutely. And they should. It'll be great.
Bricks.
I want to talk about Ninja Gaiden 4 because I had it for review and you know, the same, like the day after they gave me Outer Worlds. So I never even played it. And then Keeper, what are you hearing about Ninja Gaiden 4? We'll start with that one because...
well, I'm going to be... Unless you send me that code this evening, then I will... then I will be playing Ninja Gaiden 4 in November. I'm strategically timing all this. I told you guys this before. So what I'm going to do is now that Game Pass is almost $40 Canadian here with tax and everything else, $38.62 I believe is the exact cost. So what I'm doing is I'm timing this all with Call of Duty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear my schedule from all other gaming right up until that happens. And when that happens, I'm going to subscribe to Game Pass or resubscribe to Game Pass, I guess. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play Ninja Gaiden. I'm going to play Keeper first. I'm going to play Keeper first because I'm such a huge fan of Double Fine. One of my favorite, I'll call them pseudo indie studios because they're not really fully indie, but they feel like an indie studio.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? Like they got that fervor about them.
Let's talk about Keeper. Let's skip talking about Ninja Gaiden, actually. I think anything that we would say would just be, just kind of dead air and won't really won't contribute anything to the show because I think we know, like, Ninja Gaiden, I'll just bookend it and say Ninja Gaiden is an 83 on OpenCritic.
Correct.
It's had a good reception. There's been a fair amount of people playing it. 11,000 people are concurrent across Steam, but most people are playing on PS5 and Xbox. So that's Ninja Gaiden. It did well. It did what it apparently it's niche when I talk to people. Mag. Apparently Ninja Gaiden is kind of a niche, not relevant franchise. It had a nice little emergence and it's going to come and go, I guess. But let's talk about Keeper because I wasn't expecting much from it, but that blue number's in the chat and says just finished it yesterday. I was talking to her yesterday while she was wrapping up and she had nice things to say about it pretty often. So what are you hearing about Keeper?
Hearing it's great. Now, I know that, first of all, blue number, where have you been? I haven't seen you around. You haven't come to my chat. You didn't come to my show. Okay? I don't know what's going on. But, and by the way, she showed up on my Instagram as a...
We were talking, and she was like, it's way more fun talking to Colt than watching Mag and his stupid
Oh,
channel.
Yeah, you know what? That sounds like something she would say. In all seriousness, she did show up in my Instagram, suggested friends. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, how did she get there? And I'm like, Colt, that's why.
Yep.
Newman. So anyways, hi, blue number. So anyways, I've been hearing great things. Now, I know people have been streaming it. It's a very short game. You can finish it in like 5-6 hours. Basically like a two seating sort of gaming session or whatever. But I didn't want to watch too much. And the reason why is because I don't want to be, I know this is going to sound really stupid, but I really don't want to be robbed. And Colt leaves the show. See what happens, ladies and gentlemen? I start talking. He just walked out.
I'm just fixing the temperature in here. Calm down.
The temperature. All right.
Yeah.
Anyways, I didn't want to see too much because I don't want to be spoiled. Yeah, take the shirt off. Put a banana suit on. That seems to work for some people out there. I don't want to spoil it. Right. And so as a result of that, I watch little snippets here and there. So I'm like, I want to get an idea of what this game's all about, what it is. And I'm like, okay, I got the idea of it. I understand what you do in the game because I'm thinking to myself, what the hell are you doing and walking around as a lighthouse? And then I'm like, oh, now I get it. I know Epic Treasure was doing, shout out to Epic Treasure. She was doing streams on it. I watched a little bit of hers. Obviously, go support her. She's wonderful. That blue number, same thing. And I'm like, listen, I'm not going to watch too much. But I said, guys, spoiler free, do me a favor. Tell me what you think. Give me your what. And everybody who's played it is gushing about it. Is just saying it is so unique and special. There's something about this game that just and I'm like, that's it. That's all I need to hear. And the reason why that's all I need to hear is because to me, you know that it's the same team that made Psychonauts 2. That's all I can think of.
Yeah.
Never mind Jack Black. I'm talking about the other people that actually, doing the grunt work in that studio, whatever else. And they got that same magic touch. And that's the vibe I'm getting from everybody I'm talking to. I really look forward to playing it. But once again, in November, I will I guess in 2 weeks, I'll be resubscribing so I can play all those games. And the first one I'm going to play without question before I even touch Ninja Gaiden or I even look at Outer Worlds 2, I'm going to play Keeper first because they're number one for me. Now, the funny thing is I almost bought it And I was like, you know what? I'm not subscribed to Game Pass, but let me see if I could buy it or whatever. And I actually totally forgot to look at it in the store to see how much it costs. So I'm going to do that right now while you're talking.
I think it's 30 US, so close to 40.
30 US, so about 50 Canadian.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I will check that out. Is it for sale on PlayStation as well, or is it only Xbox? Does anybody know offhand?
It's on everything. Yeah, it's on everything.
It is?
Yeah,
okay,
welcome,
Neil
Neil.
just
joined the channel membership. Appreciate you.
He just joined my channel too.
Oh, nice.
Last night. Yeah, Neil joined my channel last night. Welcome to hell, buddy.
So I've been, another thing that happened was the day I got Outer Worlds, I got to go to this live feed and make sure I get everything in. I got this.
Colt, it's not available on PlayStation, by the way.
Keeper's not?
Keeper's not available on PlayStation. It's Xbox
It's an
only.
exclusive?
There you go. It's an exclusive.
That's super weird.
Right.
I did not expect that.
Yeah, Maverick is even saying in the chat, Xbox PC. Oh, what do you got there, Colt?
So I got the ROG Ally X from Asus and Xbox the day before it released and the day before reviews. So I basically spent a couple days setting everything up, and let me see if I can get it to look at that Xbox logo. Look at that. And of course I know
Where? Where's the sticker? I'm kidding. I'm
sticker.
kidding.
Yeah, peel the
before everybody
sticker
gets
off. And then everyone's seen this thing.
Everybody gets so worked up about that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's seen the thing, but it's super comfortable. And for me to do a review, I had to wrap up Outer Worlds. And there's so many things I can't say. I just can't say anything. But I finally wrapped up Outer Worlds, and so now I've been putting time into the ROG Ally. And I'll tell you this one thing. I have the white Z1 Extreme from 2023. And I take that on my trips, and I was trying to play Borderlands 4. When Borderlands 4 came out, Borderlands was out like maybe 1 or 2 days, and I flew to New York for an event. And so I took the ROG Ally. I'm like, I'm so hooked on Borderlands, and on the plane it just wouldn't play. Like it would just like stuttering really bad like that. And if somebody clips that and like, Colt's having a coronary. But it was so bad. I'm sitting in the plane going, I have a 4-hour flight. I want to play Borderlands so bad. And I dropped it to 720p, lowest settings, low across the board. Tried to lock it to 30, FSR on. Game would not even run. Last night, I don't want to bore you, but I loaded up Borderlands, 1080p, FSR, ultra performance, medium to low settings, unplugged, which is the big deal, not plugged into the wall, which gives it its full power and potential. I played the game for like a half an hour. I was so happy because it basically makes my old ROG Ally, the 2023 model, the Z1, and this is a Z2, it makes it, obsolete for me. So I will be putting together a small vignette review. I can't do a full-fledged review at this point. I'm so late because I got it to me the day before embargo. But what I'll probably do is put together a nice review, and I'll compare the two models and some of the games that I know a lot of people want to see, and then I'll show that at the beginning of the show probably next week. So, it's a really good device, and I guess that would be a good time to, I'm going to get back to the ROG Ally because we do have stuff to talk about that. Let's talk about one of the most emergent game leak stories out right now, and one of the worst kept secrets in the world, but apparently there's more than meets the eye with this Halo reveal. Ryan McCaffrey is at Halo Studios in Redmond, Washington by Seattle. A bunch of other journalists are reporting they're there. There's a lot going on with Fortnite, and I guess Meg and I could probably tell you all this speculative leaked stuff we think we can expect for a full reveal on Friday. Right. And I think you were talking on your stream yesterday, right? Last night about that you've talked to someone close to Halo, and what can Halo fans expect to hear on Friday for this reveal? What can you say?
Well, I'm not going to get too into details about what is going to happen. What I was talking about last night actually was what was going on the managerial level, the sort of civil war that's going on between the management positions and of course the people that are actually working the studio. However, I wanted to make sure that everybody was totally calm and cool and saying, listen, guys and gals, the games are still coming. There's not going to be any issue with the games coming. The games are coming. The Halo games are coming. What you're hearing about, and I'm sure you've heard some other stuff that's gone on or whatever else, it will not affect the actual games itself. There's just a lot of inner turmoil in terms of the HR stuff, right? So I was basically just making sure that everybody was like, rest assured, everything is still coming. But yeah, you will be hearing some stuff this Friday, and I would also expect like talk about multi-platform, plans and things like that.
Okay, before you were kind of talking about the shoe that was about to drop.
Yes.
A prominent person in the community that's been speaking out against Xbox said that there was going to be a big shoe dropping regarding Halo and Halo employees and Xbox employees. And what we got was the art director of Halo put out a little mini manifesto and just basically said, my time at 343 and Halo Studios under Xbox management has been ridiculous. The management doesn't know what they're doing. Nobody listens. It's just a really terrible work environment. I just kind of skimmed over his tweet and I'm like, oh my gosh, because it sucks to see someone like finally leave a company and they're absolutely miserable because they worked with a bunch of nincompoops, right? And that's kind of what I gathered. But this person that was speaking out about Xbox said that this art director manifesto was coming, but instead what we got was just a little mini rant about he doesn't like the way that things are being managed over there. Is there more coming from this art director? I'm hearing that sometime next year, once his severance is all set up.
That's exactly what I was. That's exactly what I had suspected originally. I'm like, well, he's not going to say anything until his check clears, right? And so, I mean, that makes absolute sense because it's going to take some time to get through all the bureaucracy and everything else, especially if you have a especially if you're at a higher pay grade, right? So there's a lot of moving parts there. And so what happens is he's going to have to wait till his check clears. Hey, once that check clears, it's open season because at that point, he'll probably either secure another job or whatever he plans on doing with the rest of his life next year. And by that point, he'll be safe. And so that's why he said that. It wasn't like Amy Hood was going to go hunt him down like John Wick because he's like, when it's safe to talk, it's like, well, it's not going to be Phil Spencer wearing the Splinter Cell night vision goggles like dangling upside down in his living room with a silencer. But they go and then fire away. But it's all about the financials at that point. So it's just he wants to make sure his check clears, and then he's going to talk more about it. However, I'm going to send you an email that I received from some higher up from
that I can read over the air
from Halo Studios. Don't read it on the air, but I will send it to you, and then I'll forward it to you. And it's basically talking about the same thing about how that gentleman. He's not the only one. It was his name Israel something or other, and yeah, that was his name. So anyways, he's like, there's more stuff coming and should be coming very soon. We're going to hear about it. But again, it actually is not affecting the projects. It's just I saw someone in the chat saying I'm okay with that. And it's like the games are still coming in all capacities. They're still working on 3 projects. The Halo I keep saying Master Chief, the Halo Combat Evolved remake. They still got a new mainline Halo game and then an offshoot Halo game. So they've got 3 Halo games in development. Those games are still coming. However, there's just a lot of stuff that's going on in there. So someone's going to have to go in there. Sorry, my voice is getting rough again. Someone's going to have to get in there. And they're going to have to start talking to these people and say, listen, guys, whatever's going on. And I said this last night. I'm like, obviously, the stink from 343 has carried over to Halo Studios because at the same time, you put a silk hat on a pig, it's still a pig. You know what I mean? It's not going to change just because you change the name.
I heard the saying the other day, the fish stinks from the head. Yeah.
Yes.
Fonz Gaming in the chat says,
that's a
according to him, he says there's only one Halo Infinite developer left at Halo Studios now. I heard something about the leader today that made me like, what's going on? Like, I thought that he was going to be like the saving grace for the new face of Halo and Halo Studios. And so I'm digging into that. There's a lot going on. And some of the things that we were alluding to was a big like expose about some of the initiatives that are pushing Halo Studios and some of Microsoft's position that has turned into something that we don't really particularly like. Like this isn't the same Xbox that is the reason why I made this podcast or the reason why I, stayed on the platform even when they just had Titanfall. So yeah, I mean, it's been pretty ridiculous, but we're going to have to hold on to that for now because, I'll read Meg's email if he sends it to me, but I don't know.
Literally while you're speaking, I'm literally scrolling through. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. So, some of the good news, like Meg says, that the games are coming.
Yes, they are.
They
are still coming. No danger of that.
I would speculate that right now, games journalists and content creators who are in Seattle are playing a nice chunk of this Halo Combat Evolved remake. And I would also speculate that they probably had access to a couple different levels to really see what the game feels like. We've heard rumors that they brought back Sprint. They've modernized some of the combat mechanics. I really hope they put Master Chief on a diet. And I'm not trying to be funny. Like, I'm not saying that for a laugh because he looks like a fat A. And that model they made him, that's not what the 2001 Master Chief looks like. It's not what the 2003 one or the 2006 or 2011. It looks like fat Master Chief. I don't know I don't understand. Like, you spend all this time making a model and you zoom back and you go, does he look like a fat ass? Oh, now let's change it. So yeah, I don't know. I had a hard time using that Halo Studios reveal footage from last year in videos because when I'm talking about, this combat evolves, and I go and show that Master Chief and he's like, Buffalo Wild Wings is good, So, all right, I got it for Meg.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah, I hope they're making that better.
The thing is, I think it was just the armor was bulkier, but...
yeah, but it was like really tight, and he looked like he had a beer gut. And I know there was people at AI made it look even worse, but when I look at the original, I'm like, nah. But I'm going to reiterate.
He's a dad chief. Like Dad Bod? He's a dad chief now.
Yeah, and
he's
I'm going to reiterate.
Barbecuing for 10 years.
It's hard for me to get super excited or hyped about Halo because I temper my expectations, but whenever the games come out, I always end up going, oh my gosh, yeah, this is why I like this franchise. Even Infinite, I'm like, is this really are they going to do this right? And then I'm playing the campaign, I'm like, oh man, this is great. So I don't want to be all doom and gloom. Let me see what you sent me. Oh, you just sent me screenshots. Okay,
yeah, screenshots.
I'll read that later because I don't want to accidentally say something.
No names though.
Yeah,
you can read it, just don't say any names.
Yeah, so I don't know who's Paris in the chat. Which means, Paris, did you get flown out to this? Like, I was left out of the loop of this Halo stuff. A couple of prominent, I don't like to say prominent, but popular, likable content creators didn't get invited. So I don't know. They must have picked a really good selection of people they wanted to be there. But yeah, I think they're going to get to play a little chunk of the game. Here's the thing. In 1 year from now is the 25th anniversary of Halo. So if they have 2 or 3 levels ready to play right now, and they're going to showcase some of that footage of actual gameplay footage on Friday, that means Halo Combat Evolved or Halo Campaign Evolved is going to be ready to release next year. No problem. Maybe they're like, I think maybe Halo Studios goes, we can't do what we've done in the past. Let's get the game ready right now. And then we'll just spend the next year polishing all the edges. So that's what I expect.
We got some confirmation from Paris here. He says, Halo Studios. Hi, Paris. He's saying Halo Studio visit was more media focused. I didn't go.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Paris. I appreciate that.
So they didn't let handsome people go to the they basically cut all the handsome people out. That's why I wasn't invited. You weren't invited. Paris wasn't invited.
Yeah, that would make sense. Why?
Of course, Randall Thor was there.
Nobody even knows what he looks like. Yeah, Ryan McCaffrey obviously would be there for more ways than one. But yeah, if it's just media, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? My Iron Ball says, Mag, you need to upgrade your profile pic like Colt.
What? What are you talking about? It's the Mag Show logo.
Go look at on the YouTube feed. Now I'm losing my voice. On the YouTube feed, go look at my profile picture in the corner.
Okay, I got to see it.
2 different users on 2 different followers. One, Sean Labrie, and I can't remember who the other person used AI to animate my profile picture, and I looped it onto the overlay. And then Graphic God made Mag's drawing of him. Excuse me. And I put together the typeface on it. But behind that picture, behind his logo, is the rest of Mag's face that I painstakingly redrew that Graphic God did. So yeah, I'll have to throw that into AI and see if I could do that to your logo next week.
That'd be really funny.
Yeah.
That'd be really funny. I'm in.
Yeah. The cowboy hat's hilarious because I would never wear a cowboy hat unless I was wearing nothing else but a cowboy hat. But yeah, it's I'm gonna go to some supers and we'll finish talking about Halo because there's more than just Combat Evolved. Grumpy Old Fart, the Magic Kid, thank you for the $2 super chat, says, I paid $2 to say the word niche. And Grumpy Old Fart is just like
I love it. It's a great console. Word.
You're niche. You're just like a racing game. You're niche. What else is niche?
Is that Grumpy Old Fart? Is that who it is?
Yeah, what else
Grumpy Old Fart? Shout out to Grumpy Old Fart, by the way. During my stream, he bought me Resident Evil Requiem to stream on my channel.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes.
Thank you, Grumpy.
Thank you, Grumpy Old Fart. And you got the best name on the internet. So yeah, carry on. Sorry about it.
Literal Table, thank you for Literal Table 756. Thank you for the 279. Says those animated icons are fire, Colt. I saw the person in the chat go, ooh, AI. When I show my kids, they're like, no, Dad, no. And that's why I do it. Drives them crazy. That's why whenever I hear the song Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters, I'll go, hey kids, look. And I'll play it. They hate it. Brian, because that's what they do. Brian Smith, thank you for the 5. I see a lot of sites bashing Xbox. Why does it seem like Xbox gets so much undeserved hate? Makes me wonder if they ever used it or if they ever get used to it or recently. Brian, we're going to talk about that in a little bit because there's more than just surface level issues going on there. Danny Passion, thank you for the 5. Says, Colt performance is the same on the OG Ally X. I tried to tell people about the issue with the OG Ally. Oh my gosh.
Okay, Colt, take a breath. Ally.
I know. He said, I've tried to tell people the OG Ally is a lack of memory. The 24 gigs changed everything. Well, the performance is not the same. Definitely not. You've got the Z2 chip. You've got better AI, actual AI integration. So the performance has been pretty outstanding. I was playing Avowed on it today. I've played Outer Worlds on it, Outer Worlds 2. I've played Borderlands, and I haven't played Spider-Man yet. I played on the other one. That ran great on the old one. Jeremy Ramirez, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Says, gentlemen, great show. Downer. Oh, it's Downer. It's the Downer. Yeah, Downer is, I would say, a classic console. Well, I mean, it's kind of like an Xbox gaming personality on Twitter way back 8-9 years ago when I first got on there, and we would go back and forth, and sometimes we get along, sometimes we wouldn't. And then I met him in real life at the 2019 Xbox Showcase, and I'm like, oh my gosh, he's a super nice guy. And he might have thought the same thing about me, but you think people are a-holes.
But yes.
Right. Downer. It's good to see. He says, you built a space where gamers feel seen, challenged, and inspired. That's rare. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much, Downer. I appreciate it. And he talks to Tim Dog once in a while, and I was on the phone with Tim last week, and he brought up, he said, Jeremy, and I go, Jeremy? Like I was supposed to know, and he goes, Downer. I go, well, of course. Yeah, because we always call him Jeremy or Downer, and people rarely use their first names in this world. Nobody even knows what ours are. Me Puppet, thank you for the super chat for the 5. Says, question, what is your pick for game of the year? Number 1. Number 2, is the Halo game coming up in the reveal or more mediocre garbage like Infinite? What a great time.
I liked Infinite.
I did too.
Everybody's allowed to have their opinions. It's totally fine. I enjoyed the hell out of that game. Carry on.
You and I say it was just missing. If it took you to a couple different biomes on the ring, I think it would have been.
If there was a little bit more variety, I think it would have gone from, for me, which I enjoyed the hell out of it. I gave it an 8 out of 10. I thought it was a lot of fun. The multiplayer was fantastic, but once again, no post-launch support for like almost a bloody year. So they suck if they get 0 out of 10 for that. But the multiplayer that launched was fantastic, and I really enjoyed the campaign. I gave it an 8 out of 10. I think it would have been a 9 out of 10 if they had given us a little more variety. Like different areas to go that were really, really different from what we had seen. Because it felt like we were in just a single sandbox, and it almost felt like, I'm like, okay, well, it's all here. Here's the map and everything else. I what they did with it.
Yeah, it was.
But it was a single sandbox. But it didn't have like varying degrees of variety that I found that it just felt like the same place. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I mean,
but either way,
go
enjoy
into
the hell out of
dungeons, but when you were out, it was just the Pacific Northwest, and I know people say like Halo Infinite was trash. It's an 87, which is a phenomenal score. It's right up there with Tsushima, Death Stranding. Like it's a Spider-Man. Like it's a great game. What people forget is running around with that grapple, jumping into fortresses like with a grapple shot, right? And taking down fortresses of brutes and elites that were like Far Cry style. Like, you know, you'd like go over their big like metal wall. And
I
go
love
in
that.
there and start throwing explosives.
That was cool.
Like grabbing an explosive, chucking it at them, shooting guys, jumping up, smashing them, jumping on a vehicle. And you were just, everything you did in Halo Infinite in the campaign, it was you were the skill. It was all skill based. Like you were timing, you were making it happen. There was no like, didn't take over and have quick time events. It was,
the grapple punch is the greatest new integration of Halo combat in every Halo ever created. I don't care what anybody says. The grapple punch absolutely rocked the house. So when you just went in there like Batman and you're like, and then you Ben Affleck them right through a wall, and I was like, yes, I know I did the Michael Keaton music for Ben Affleck, but it doesn't matter. That's what we're doing tonight.
I thought you were doing a Steely's dance song at first. I was a little confused there.
Well, I can't sing because my voice is gone, but you know, you get the idea. Yeah, he Ben Affleck them right through the wall. Bam, and then the big punch, and I'm like, oh, dude. And then, of course, the traversal, because it added verticality to the game. So that you could be like, you know, running around and you shoot this dude, you shoot that guy, one of the brutes comes over, you fire something, throw a canister at him, and then you're like, oh, crap, Batman up to the next thing, and now you're shooting down. So you added all this new gameplay elements that they never had. Well, yeah. And like you just... It didn't feel like the standard stomp, shoot, dodge, this, that, stomp. Like there was
Halo used to be, Halo used to be shoot, chuck a grenade, melee, chuck a grenade, and that was it.
Right.
And we loved it.
But now you added a verticality to it. So
in
it
my
was
game
fantastic.
review, so like I felt like I was the first-ish one to have this on YouTube because my game review was like when the game launched. I was in a Hornet and I was like shooting bad guys and it caught on fire and I had to bail. And as I was bailing, I looked up and there was a Banshee and I grapple shotted to it, knocked the elite out of it and got into that while the thing I was in blew up. And
that's
I knew like it wasn't that difficult to do it, but in the moment I felt like a total Batman. It's crazy awesome. The game's so good. And this is why we're going to continue to talk about Halo. We're still on the Halo topic. I'll read this one last thing. Meat Puppet says another 5. Sorry for the typo. The Halo game is going to be good, or is it going to be garbage? Is what he meant to say.
We don't know until. Oh, Infinite. Okay.
So we know the worst kept secret is this Halo Combat Evolved. I've already covered how there's Sprint, there's Modern, they've changed some of the game to make it feel better. It's all Unreal Engine 5, and if you've seen those like slow flyovers from Halo Studios. The game is going to look really super modern. I hope I'm excited to play it again, but I have a feeling it's going to look really good. So there is another thing that insiders are really sure is also going to be revealed at this event, and it is a live service Halo game. And everyone wants to call it Fortnite, and I changed my overlay on the fly for this. I'm not quite sure if it's a battle royale, but it is a live service standalone Halo game, according to these insiders, that Certain Affinity has been working on for like 5 years. So it's going to be a Halo spinoff. I don't know if it's ODST. I don't know if it's just another Master Chief thing or if it's, I don't know what it is, but Certain Affinity is incredible. Certain Affinity actually makes some of the best Halo support content that we've loved over the past 15 to 20 years. So I think Friday is going to be a really big deal. And I know it's hard to get excited about Halo sometimes, especially with all the stuff where we let up about Halo Studios and the old 343 and then the management problems and like, you know, they don't always deliver. But it sounds like their reveals are going to be pretty monumental if they're going to show a bunch of actual gameplay footage of Campaign Evolved, I think it's going to call it, and this brand new Halo spinoff game, which I think it's going to be meant to hold us over, which actually give us a nice big game to play after Combat Evolved while we wait for Halo 7. So
there's a super chat in regard to that. but later on, I think it's later on I saw it go by.
Well, if I will read those real quick so that we can stay on topic then. From
Sure.
Chris. Let me see.
I lost it now, but
I'm
the chat's
looking
moving
right
real
now.
fast tonight.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you. Hit the like button if you're enjoying the show. We're live on YouTube. We're also on Spotify. You can watch us or listen on Spotify, and we're on Apple Podcasts. And thank you for everybody who supports us, who listens to on demand. Chris with the $5, thank you so much. Says,
there it is.
Mag, you mentioned 3 Halo projects. Now, I'm only
Correct.
talking about 2, but Mag says 3. Do you have any indication of expected release time frames for them? I'm specifically curious about Halo 7.
You're looking at next generation at this point. But the funny thing is that what you would consider next generation as these as what Microsoft is doing, we're going to talk about this a little later, as what they're basically doing is just this sort of incremental upgrade system where they're not going to be like, now here comes the Xbox 5 or whatever, right? It's going to be, different hardware that's going to be varying degrees of power and whatever else. But for argument's sake, we'll call it next generation. You're looking at minimum 27 or above. I have no actual time frame.
Yeah, sure.
But it's not coming in 2026. So, right, we know that absolutely without question. Their focus right now for the Xbox Game Studios is going to be Gears of War, Forza Horizon in Japan there, Forza Horizon 6. Those are going to be the 2 big ones, and, of course, Call of Duty. Those will be the 3 big ones for the fall for next year. They're not going to throw Halo in there, and there's no way they're going to have it done in time, not even remotely close. So it's going to be a next-generation game. It will still be supported by this generation, I can assure you that. So when you look at it, like I said, your performance will be dependent on the hardware that you have at that point. Because I can tell you that the Series consoles, specifically the Series X, will continue to be supported into the 2030. Especially when you look into like the console. Yeah, so it's at least 2030. So you're going to look at, and then of course, on top of that, which we're going to talk about later. Yes.
You really think the Xbox would say we're only supporting Series X and not S in that long cross generation?
That would be my guess, but I have no idea. I have no idea what their actual plans in that route. They should, but we shall see. Like maybe they're going to have different things. Maybe the Series S, maybe they'll have cloud integration that be able to access everything at that point. I don't know. I'm not 100%, but I could tell you that for sure you will still have support into 2030, as you will be able to get this new, this beastly PC Xbox integrated system coming in 27. And then from there, you can expect at least 3 years support beyond that, which they did in this generation anyway for both Xbox and PlayStation, right? So you're going to get the same thing in this one. So I talked to a lot of people today when they were messaging me after I saw my video this morning, and they're like, holy crap, Mag, is this thing going to be 1,000 above? And I'm like, well, I think it's pretty obvious it will be at least. If not more. I know some people said 1,500. I think it's a little high, but I'm thinking between 1,000 and 1,100 US dollars. I think would be probably reasonable. But that's a conversation for later in the show.
Yeah.
However,
I said, listen,
you've got 5 years.
There's a lot of assumptions I think people have wrong, and I'll try and clear that out as well.
Sure.
People thinking 1,000 to 1,500. I've got some pretty good, solid arguments against that, but we'll get into that.
All right.
Yeah. And I have some arguments for it as well. So we'll look at it from all sides the best way we can.
Sure.
Anyway, so about what's this third game, or is there only 2? Like the Certain Affinity thing? Like, what are you expecting first from Certain Affinity? I gave you like my guess. Like, what are you expecting from their release?
From Certain Affinity? Exactly what you said? Like,
just a multiplayer only standalone like.
Yeah, I'm not expecting like a campaign story, anything like that. I like I said, I don't know much about that project, but I could tell. But the other ones I mentioned. So, but that project, I'm like, no, that's kind of in line with what we've heard.
Okay.
With what they're working on or whatever else. But the other stuff that Halo Studios is specifically working on, that's a whole different thing. That's where they're doing the combat evolved. Halo, you want to call it Halo 7, whatever you want to call it. We'll just call it Halo 7 for argument's sake, and an offshoot game beyond that.
Yeah, and so someone was asking in the chat, what's this supposed reveal in Friday? It's the Halo.
Don't you want to be surprised?
Well,
yeah.
It's in concert with the Halo Championship, something, the yearly thing. They've aligned this certain stuff. So insiders are saying that there's supposed to be a big reveal on Friday, but typically people expect some sort of reveal from these Halo events every year. And so now it's sounding like there's actually some substantial that's coming out on this coming Friday, which is the day after the Outer Worlds embargo, which is Thursday morning. So it's been a very busy week. Someone said On Twitter the other day, Mag, someone said, what is the most overused word in 2025? If you had to think back, what is the most overused word in 2025 that you hear way too much?
I mean, there have been so many things said this year.
What comes to mind? What's the first thing that comes to mind that people say it too much?
Xbox is dead. I mean, that seems to be like every hour.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I tweeted out. Xbox. The word Xbox, like, I know
the word
in this
Xbox.
bubble.
Dude, it's their own fault, though. They don't shut up.
I know.
Like, they don't stop talking. Like, it's not our fault, man. It's not our fault. And it's like people are like, oh my God, Microsoft's back in the news again. I'm like, because they don't shut up.
Yep.
They literally don't stop talking. And I mean, that sounds funny, but someone said it on my show last night. They're like, I can't remember. A tongue stays inside a wise head, something like that. It's like an Irish thing or something. And I'm like, okay, that's very interesting. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. Do you see Sony and Nintendo on the news every 6 days? Like doing all these changes, doing all these interviews, doing all this stuff. And then everybody's like, why does everybody talk about Xbox? I'm like, because they're always in the news.
Yep.
Like every 3 days, someone's on there yip-yapping about this, changing prices, raising prices, doing this, doing that. There's a constant I swear to God, I think they just love the drama. I think Microsoft loves the drama.
There are people that love to get their head kicked in on social media, and it seems like maybe Xbox likes to be at the wrong end of the discussion. That's the next topic we're going to talk about. I want to finish the rest of the question here from Meat Puppet.
Sure.
What's your pick for game of the year? What's your personal game of the year, Mag? I'll let you go first, and then I'll tell mine. You guys are going to hate me.
It's really tough, man. It's really tough. Expedition 33 is an outstanding game. Ghost of Yotei is an outstanding game. And Battlefield 6.
Yeah, you've been playing it on stream. Yeah.
I did one stream of it, and then I never went back to it because everybody said, "Dude, it's Halloween."
What's your game of the year that you've? What's the game of the year that you've finished? You played all the way through and finished it.
All the way through,
and it's your game of the year.
Oh, come on!
Not Meg. Not what's the most popular or what you think is going to be the game of the year. He said, "What is your pick for game of the year?"
Of a completed game.
Maybe I'm changing that, but I want to hear what Meg's
kind of changing the parameters. Game of the year
is.
I completed a lot of games this year.
Okay, what is the game that sticks out to you that you like over all
Chronos
of those?
was amazing. Chronos was pretty amazing.
Okay. Chronos
the New Dawn was pretty damn amazing.
Don't throw rocks at me.
Yeah, go for it. What's up?
So far, my game of the year.
All right.
If we're talking, the one that I enjoyed the most, that gave me the most joy, is Avowed.
Okay,
it really is. I absolutely
rocks.
loved it. It's not a 90 plus Metacritic. I don't even think it's a 90 something, but it just gave me the most joy. I played it for 70 hours. I was hooked on the preview. I played the first level for like 20 hours when I did a preview video because I couldn't get enough. I even went back a month ago. I was talking to Hargeet Chani on Party Chat, and I was while we were talking, I just load up Avowed, and I just went in the middle of my saves and just started walking around and doing stuff and fighting enemies and looting, and I was like, yeah, I absolutely adore this game. And I know people can make fun of me, and I have friends who say, like you, Mag, said you really enjoyed South of Midnight. But, when your personal game of the year is your personal game of the year.
My favorite Xbox game this year. I loved it.
So, one last question.
So, who cares? Like, who cares what people think?
Yeah, I mean,
it's all about, your opinions are subjective. It's just like watching a movie. You could say, hey, that movie was great. I just watched that movie Weapons, right? And some people are like, it's the greatest movie of all time, right? And I'm like, okay. So I went to watch it, and I'm like, you know what? It was a very good movie. I enjoyed the story. The premise was very good. It's not the greatest horror movie of all time. So you can cut that out right now. Yeah. So, but that's my opinion, and that's their opinion. You respect each other's opinion without saying stupid stuff, then you're totally cool. You know what I mean? And like for me, Xbox's game of the year is South of Midnight. I loved it. I loved it.
I loved it. I love to hear that.
I loved it more than Doom. Funny enough, I played Doom: The Dark Ages, reviewed it, did not like it as much as South. I have more with South of Midnight. I enjoyed it more than that. On the PlayStation side, Ghost of Yotei without question. What a fantastic game! I cried during a cutscene, by the way, just the other day. It was so incredibly powerful. And I'm like,
oh, really?
This is why they win awards. Because when you get people emotionally invested in something, when it's got to the point, like I was literally in tears. Mind you, I was also severely hungover, so I was a little bit emotionally compromised, like a Vulcan. like you remember Spock? Remember Spock in like Spock in the 2013 Star Trek? And then he gets emotionally compromised, and then of course Kirk takes over the Enterprise. That was me. So I get to this moment, and I was like severely hungover, and I got my tea, and I'm playing the game, and there's this cutscene that happens, and I was really invested in the story, and I was literally in tears. I was just like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm crying. Like, and it got me like this. But like Battlefield 6 is a great game too, right? There's so many good games. So why should we relegate ourselves to just one game and just say, how about 20? This is gonna sound so cheesy, but how about 2025 was such a hell of a great year that we should only have a top 10, and that's all there is to it. You can't pick one.
You can get away with that because it's been an insane year.
It's been an insane year, dude. Next year's gonna be even wilder.
The year's not over, but I think Expedition 33 is going to get the win for just its surprise out of the gate and won everybody over. And there's been so many great games this year. It'll be good. All right, let's.
Jesse James is saying the same thing in the chat.
Joe,
he's saying 2026 is going to be better. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, Xbox has such a lower amount of games. They might have 4, maybe 5 games next year. That we know of.
Yeah, but they're big. They're pretty big games though.
Yeah,
like they're not like, we're not talking like piddly little, Power Wash Simulator 2. Like we're talking like Gears of War E-Day, Forza Horizon, the possibility. What's it called? Clockwork.
Fable.
I was supposed to say Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, I'm not
Clockwork
sure.
Revolution, and then the
possibility
possibility
I'm not sure if
of
Clockwork
Fable
makes it, but I was talking to my good friend about.
Are you kidding?
My good friends about the quality of Xbox games, and they're like, I'm not quite sure the quality. A couple of my friends were saying, I'm not quite sure Xbox's quality is there yet, because one of the things we're going to get into later is like, oh, I've lost my trust for Xbox. They always go back on their word, which they absolutely do. I don't know if they keep gamers in mind first. It's Microsoft gaming, all that stuff we're going to get into. And I said, well, some of my friends are only on PC. So if you don't care about the console, or if you're not going to buy it because you think it's too expensive or it's not something you want, then your concerns really don't matter about that. And if you've already unsubbed from Game Pass, why are you crying about Game Pass price hikes? Like, it sucks that you have to do that, but it's really about the games, and that's another thing we're going to talk about.
That's what I did. I mean, like I canceled. I'm not paying Game Pass month after month after month. I'm going to strategically subscribe, right? And so I'm going to do it. I'm going to time it. You know what I mean? So I could do multiple things at once and then move on with my life, because it's not all about Xbox. There's PlayStation and third party out there, and Nintendo that I partake in, right? And as a result of all those things, then I'm going to look at all that and say, listen, I'm going to, like I said, sporadically and strategically subscribe so that it works to my benefit financially. Nothing wrong with that. And I know a lot of people actually saying the same thing with me, is saying, hey, I did the same thing with Netflix. I realized I didn't watch Netflix for 3 months or 4 months. I just canceled it, and I'm waiting for Stranger Things. When Stranger Things comes out, I'll resubscribe for 1 month, watch my show, do my thing, and then unsub. And then Amazon Prime, same thing, and Hulu and Crave and Disney Plus. People are doing that, right? As things get more and more expensive. Right. And then I didn't complain about it. I didn't bitch about it. I complained about it. I thought it was a stupid move for what Game Pass did. However, at the same time, I just unsubbed and said, no, I'm done. And then I will go back there and I will take advantage of it whenever I can. And I'm going to do that this November. And that's all there is to it. Or if it's a game like Fable or Gears, I'm going to be buying it. I'm going to be buying those games. I'm not going to rent those games.
Magnum in the chat says 2026 is the year that Fable gets canceled.
I saw that. Magnum, stop it.
Yeah, you can't cancel a game when it's that far into development. They'll have to finish it. Like, you'd have to really believe that Playground doesn't know how to make a game. I don't know. Yeah. The problem, there was a major problem with Everwild. Like, they scrapped it and restarted, and then Perfect Dark, they never even really got going, and they lied. So I'm hoping the same isn't true for Playground's team working on Fable, but
fine.
I'm pretty sure you're going to see it at Dev Direct, and they can finally show us more than just vignettes. So
I would like to see
Concord was canceled after it came out. It's like, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but that's a different game. Like, I mean, I know it was a big budget.
Concord was finished, but they canceled it. They closed it because nobody liked it. Like, it would be like, I've done this before. I've done this once, maybe twice. You put out a video that no one likes and you just get rid of it. I've done that a couple times. I don't like to do that because I don't just crank out a video in 1 hour. I spend 6-8 hours making a video, and I put out a video.
Like
I put out a video that no one liked because they weren't interested in the game and they were being really super rude, and it was awful. I'm like, I don't want to give them this platform anymore. But yeah, let's get into the gaming news. Joe Abe, thank you for the $5 super, says, all bias aside, what are the top 5 gaming studios where you know you're going to be worth the purchase no matter what? Insomniac, Rockstar.
Easily, yeah.
For me, Obsidian. And what do you got? A couple? Capcom
for me, I would go with Rockstar, Coalition. I would go with Double Fine. I would go with Sucker Punch.
Oh yeah.
And damn it. Did I say Rockstar already?
Yep.
And you know what? You ready for a controversial one? I've never been disappointed by any of their games, really, honestly. Even though, like, whatever, Ubisoft. I love Ubisoft. I knew you were gonna say that. Did you see the third-person trailer for Avatar? The footage of the third-person mode? Oh yeah. The one that's coming out in December.
Looks really good,
dude. It looks really good. And listen, they make some fabulous games over there, man. I mean, the company, they have the same issue that the Halo Studios problem, or even actually I want to say Microsoft Gaming at this point, with all the nitpicking with each other and all the fighting and all the whatever. Anyway, we'll get into that later. But Ubisoft, same thing. It almost feels like the way that they run it, the bureaucracy of that company is always in shambles, or at least in turmoil. I shouldn't say shambles, but I'm going to say always in turmoil. But somehow they seem to crank out these fantastic games. If you didn't play Avatar, you guys are missing out. Avatar was a fantastic game. It really gets you into that entire, like, the entire, like, the world of Pandora. You really feel like it's a living, breathing world. Like you're actually there in Pandora. Great games. The Assassin's Creed games have always been fantastic. My wife is now over 120 hours in Assassin's Creed Shadows, or Shadow, whatever it's called. Loving the hell out of it. I saw you playing it as well. I haven't even started it yet because I'm neck deep in Yote, so I'm going to do that first. I don't want to get samurai'd out, so I don't want to go samurai game to samurai game or whatever. Yeah, so I'm going to give it. Yeah. I'm going to take a break and go back to it. But I'm telling you right now, I'm buying that DLC for the Fire and Ash for Avatar. That's coming out in December. And then they're having a third-person mode, and the co-op mode is in there too, right? So now you could play co-op. I mean, co-op mode came with it, but so now you could go back there, play co-op, third-person, plus they have the Fire and Ash expansion to match with the movie that's coming out. Ubisoft is doing some great stuff. By the way, Ubisoft, speaking of which, I'll say it very quickly for anybody who didn't watch the show last night. There's no danger of the Splinter Cell game not coming. It's just that the creative director has left the studio. That's it. Because people are going nuts. They're like, Meg, is it canceled? Is it canceled? I'm like, it's not canceled.
Also, Massive Entertainment, the team that made Star Wars Outlaws, a game that everyone hated.
Great game.
I ended up really enjoying it. If you're a classic Star Wars fan, you need to get over some of the issues, like her face looking like a catcher's mitt, and it's such a fun game. They are
Sharifi, I've already played
big layoffs. Yeah.
Sharifi's in the chat. He said, just get Game Pass Ultimate. You have Ubisoft included. I've already finished every single game. I buy every Ubisoft game that comes out. I mean, so I've already played them all. So for me,
I feel like you and I always go to bat for Ubisoft and try to keep it real with people because, what is it? Mirage is like one of their lowest Assassin's Creed games. I think it's like
it was a great game. It was a great game.
It's like a 68 or a 72 or something.
Is it really?
I don't even know what it is, but it's like one of the lowest ones. And when people are like Assassin's Creed's trash, just go look at the scores. They're always around the high 70s to low 80s. I'm pretty sure.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure that Shadows is like an 81. What is Mirage? It's like
Mirage
72?
is the meta score is 76.
Oh, see. And everyone's like, "Oh, Assassin's Creed trash." Like, is 76 trash? Like on one of the game titles?
I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed Mirage. I thought it was a lot of fun. Great characters, great story. But yeah, Ubisoft Shield. I really loved that Prince of Persia game. I played it for it was on PlayStation Plus, and I think is it on Game Pass now, or is there another one on Game Pass? There's another Prince of Persia on Game Pass.
There's the other side one on Game Pass. I was also going to say that Watch Dogs Legions
the Metroidvania one.
It's not a great game. Watch Dogs 2 is okay, you know. Like of course Skull and Bones sucks according to other people, right? Of course, every studio has a couple of rough games in there, but
they're not going to be like
Ubisoft puts out like
everybody's batting
50 games in a decade, right? And for the most part,
they've been a lot of fun.
They're pretty good. All right,
dude, you guys are in for a treat. By the way, with Black Flag, the Black Flag remake, you are in for a treat. You are in for a treat with that game. I can't wait for everybody to see it. Honestly.
I love that. Okay, I want to get into some of the news everyone's talking about. We could talk about Ubisoft and these other games. Thank you guys for being patient with us. The weekly Xbox FUD dropped, and I completely fell for it. I put out an apology this morning on Twitter because I lambasted Xbox because it's kind of what I come to expect from them. But the report from Tom Warren and shared out by Shinobi, and then you had like big YouTubers like Legacy HD, Kill HD, like calling out Xbox for their nonsense. The report was that Xbox had jacked up the price of their dev kits from $1,500 to $2,000 US. And this is the kit that developers and studios use to make the port of the game for Xbox, the XDK. Right. The funny thing about this is no one had talked about the XDK outside of tools for certain things when games are being made or why they run differently across PlayStation, Xbox. No one had talked about the XDKs. I was like, you couldn't buy them. They're only available in the back channels of the games development scene. And so this frustrates me because I trust Tom Warren so much in his reporting. And Tom Warren leaned on this title that Xbox jacked the price of their developer kit, which makes Microsoft and Xbox look like we're not making it any easier for people to enter into our platform. We're charging an extra $500, and $2,000 isn't like the end of the world for studio, but the whole truth was buried somewhere in a paywall article. No one was talking about it on social media. The truth. No one was talking about it. I was Google searching, trying to find out before I made my post, how much is what does PlayStation do? What is typical for Xbox? What is typical for developers? And because of this new article, everything rose up to the top that Xbox is jacking the price, and the truth about PlayStation, or what Xbox has always done, was so hard to find. The next morning, I get comments from 3 different developers that follow me. One from Stalker, and a developer that works within Xbox hardware that I always reference, and another developer for another studio, I can't remember. They were like, Colt, that's not how it works. The truth is, ID at Xbox, which is the program within the Xbox division that ushers in small and medium and large size developers to create games and provides the support to make that happen on the Xbox console, ID at Xbox loans out 2 Xbox XDK development kits to studios if they are approved in the partner system. What they have to do is they have to make a game. They get a game up and running. They submit it. They submit an application and an example. And ID at Xbox looks at this and says, okay, okay, your game doesn't have like large copious amounts of boobs and beheading or whatever. Or you're not eating crickets by the handfuls. So yeah, we're okay with this. They approve them. They send them a development kit or 2 development kits, and they can work on the game. All right. Sorry, it's a lot, but I want to cover this. The Xbox tax, I have sat here on this show, Mag, and said 100 times, I don't believe in the Xbox tax. Xbox does everything to afford their criticism and their hate that they get from people. But then you start to see, oh my gosh, because you and I talked about this 3 weeks ago or 3 or 4 weeks ago about how it is much more advantageous and lucrative for the games media to pen everything that Xbox is the demon and they're absolutely stupid. I almost said a different word. That they're so dumb they can't do anything right, and that all they want to do is harm the gamers in the industry. And so that's what this article was. Xbox is jacking up the price of their development kits. The truth is, ID at Xbox provides them. PlayStation also provides them. Here's the kicker. PlayStation's development kit costs 2 times more than the Xbox XDK. It is up to $4,000 to get a PS5 dev kit. Now, the people who don't get the dev kits would be very small developers like Joe from Song of Iron, or the guys from Hypercharge, who I think they did get included in ID at Xbox. But when they're first starting out, you got 4 people or you got 18 people in your studio. Sorry, this is a lot of ranting, but I have to cover this.
No. We're taking it all in, folks.
We're reeling them in. We're doing it live. Okay. Hold on, I gotta put a timestamp here. So, PlayStation's dev kit is 2 times more expensive. So the only people who aren't getting them are the small studios who are just the startup people. And so that sucks that they're increasing the price of it. But then the excusable part of me says they're still cheaper than the other platform. That they're not usually not just making it for Xbox. They always make a PlayStation version, and then they usually make a Nintendo version. So the dev kits can get pricey, but
right.
If I imagine if you and I put together, we're going to make a game studio, and we pulled together 8 people from the community that we know that have some resources and some money and some knowledge, and we put it together. And one of the things that we have to do is we have to apply for a dev kit, or we need to pony up the money to buy one. If we were putting all this work in, a couple $1,000s for a dev kit so that we can sell our game on a console platform is just the price of doing business. That's the excuse part that I'm going to say out loud. I don't like that Xbox continues to jack up the price of their stuff, especially when they should be more conducive to make it easier for developers when they are the lowest platform on the rung. Mag, what was your take on this? That was a lot that I had to say.
Listen, man. What ends up happening is, and I could see the chat while you were talking. I was listening to you, and I'm reading the chat at the same time. And when people are saying, like, it obviously gets clicks, it generates it generates ad revenue, it generates traffic, whatever else, because of all the drama and whatever. But here's the thing, and they're right. They're not wrong. It does get clicks and whatever else. So you know what ends up happening is people will grasp at straws in order to make them look even worse because it's great for engagement. Wonderful. However, at the same time, Microsoft doesn't help themselves by stepping on the rake every 2 weeks. No. So what ends up happening is they're getting guilt by association, because at this point, if Phil Spencer sneezes wrong, it's going to be on every podcast all across North America and beyond, right? And the reason why is because they've done the what I'd like to call the groundwork of disaster. They've done that to Obi-Wan Kenobi. You have done that yourself, Anakin. You did it to yourself. Now, for the Republic, for democracy. Now, the thing is, again, I can't do my imitations except for Macho Man because of the voice. But the thing is, in this case, they did not deserve it. Okay, they did not deserve the smoke that they got, and that started coming out, and I saw articles and everything else. They did not deserve it. But the problem is, just like crying wolf too many times, what happens? People will automatically assume that you effed up.
Yeah.
Right? And as a result of that, and because of all the times you've been proven right before, the problem is everybody will instantly believe it. And that is your own, not you, that's their Xbox own doing.
Yep.
That is Microsoft's own doing. And so the like I said, people work in trends. People work in patterns. And that's the way people see things. Like, for example, if you walk by my house every single day and punch me in the stomach on your way to school, okay? And then on the 7th day, Colteastwood walked by again, and you don't punch me in the stomach. What would I do if I saw you coming?
You're gonna go like this.
I'd flinch, right? Yeah. I would flinch, and then say, okay, well, you know what? He didn't do it this time. But because you did whatever, you did all these blunders before all that, people will automatically believe those stories. You don't think that these media people know that? You don't think that they manipulate a situation by saying, okay, we can spin this even if it's wrong.
It's a win-win.
I want to get that clear. they're still going to get 1 million people that are going to believe it instantly because of all the blunders before. So essentially, they're working on a false pretense of past blunders, but that's why people will automatically assume that it is something negative. So if you want to call that an Xbox tax, go ahead, call it an Xbox tax. But I'm not going to call it that. I'm just saying that is what happens. And it is a pattern that even when they don't do something wrong, you will still get blamed for it. Here, another example. You get arrested 11 times for robbery.
Well, I mean...
okay? And then the liquor store gets robbed, and you're standing there across the street smoking a cigarette, and you had a beer in your hand, and the cop goes, he probably did it, right? They would immediately assume that the guy who's robbed the store 11 times and been arrested in and out of jail, and he's standing there with a beer and a smoke, and let's say he didn't do it that time, what are they going to do first?
Well,
you're being profiled.
Let's look at the actual examples, because Keith Garland in the chat says, isn't the reverse true? How often do we have to be proven wrong before we quit believing the reporting blunders? Because let's look at the examples that have happened recently. There's been 3 in a row. The first one was Xbox is canceling the next generation console. Xbox puts out, everyone's like, oh, of course they are. I mean, they canceled Everwild, they canceled Perfect Dark, they canceled the handheld. Like, you have to understand why that would happen, because at this point, people are like, of course Xbox is doing that. That's why Magnum says, well, next year is when they cancel Fable, because this is the pattern recognition that Xbox has to get out of.
That's what I was trying to say.
Yes, you are.
That's what I was trying to say.
So then what happens next?
But people will manipulate that, Colt.
Well, there was something else that happened last week. I can't remember what it was. We covered it. I think we covered it on the podcast last week. And then this week it was... obviously the dev kits. I can't remember. There was 3 things that happened each week in a row. 2 of them Xbox actually reported about with their PR team. One was the canceling the console. What was the other one?
Oh, we were laughing about it because it always seems to happen on a Sunday.
Yeah, what was it?
What was it? It was the hardware was one, and then the week before was another one, and I can't remember. God, I can't. I'm
gonna look at the show.
Chad, help us out, man.
I don't know why I can't remember, and I'm gonna sack myself.
Selza's got it. It was the emptying of the shelves.
Yes, I just saw
there. You
it.
go. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so this is what you do. Okay, everybody in the chat, listen up. This is what I want you to do. If you want to stay level-headed about everything, and you don't want to get too worked up, first of all, react individually. Unfollow Colt and myself, obviously. But the thing is, react on an individual basis. Okay.
Sure.
Because what ends up happening is, like I said, people will manipulate news in order to follow trends. However, if Microsoft makes 6 blunders, but the 7th and 8th are not true, how many people are going to say, well, I don't really trust them, and I already automatically believe that those 7 or 8... So, instead of doing that or reacting emotionally or getting online and fighting with each other or getting in these chats and calling each other names and putting clown emojis and this and that...
Stop that, by the way.
You know what you do? Just say, all right, let's see if this is true or not. However, when we're on a podcast, and this is where people tend to not understand.
You can do that, man.
We're allowed to talk about it.
You can say, okay, is this really what Xbox is going to do? Let's look into it, or let's be reasonable. But that's not like you're standing in a crowd of orcs and Urukai who are like, looks like meat's back on the menu, boys. Because everyone, like all these big influencers are like, of course Xbox is doing this without even asking. And that's why I apologize, because
I'm guilty of it too.
Microsoft is
I'm guilty of it too.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of it too. Of course, Ghostbusters has to put, look at it. He put 5 clown emojis in the chat. Ghostbusters, knock it off.
One for every finger of my fist.
Yeah. He's so funny. So anyways, the thing is though, listen, we're all guilty of it too, because when you ask a question, and that's the thing that people have to understand when we're doing, this is a talk show. Okay, this is a talk show. So what you do in a talk show is you brainstorm, you have stream of conscious, you have thoughts and feelings and opinions. Doesn't mean they're all fact. It's just you're talking about what you think may or may not happen. So it happens right here in this show. Do I trust Microsoft? Absolutely not. So when you asked me 2 weeks ago and you said, do you think next gen hardware is coming? I did not say no. I said, I wouldn't put it past them because I don't trust them, right? And I don't.
Sure.
So I'm like, but that doesn't mean a no. That doesn't mean a yes. That is a conversation that like 2 guys are having. It would be no different than if you're sitting at a bar having a couple of beers, or you're having a whatever, a Fanta or something, and I'm having a beer.
It's different
and
at a bar.
Yapping.
2 people can hear you, but on social media you can garner like 1,200 likes. You know,
right, but when people
like,
pick out 3 words of what
Yeah.
you say, Colt, and it happens to you, happens to me, you more than me, because you have a bigger spotlight on you than I do. However, if you say 3 words that people don't like, immediately you get painted into a corner. And as a result of that, I don't think that that's fair, and that doesn't make any sense. So instead of lashing out or this and that or whatever, have your thoughts, have your feelings, whatever. And then when it happens or doesn't happen, then you could say, okay. But you also can't blame the people that, like I said, are following pattern recognition. You can't blame them as well, because like I said, if Colt walks by my house 7 times and punches me in the stomach every single day, on the 8th day I flinch, you're going to give me crap for it? Pussy! And I'm like, what?
I'm punching
He
you
punched
every
me 7
time.
dae in a row.
Yeah,
And
7 days,
you know what I
one
mean?
time for every game I had to face the Blue Jays.
Right. And on the 7th day, Colt punched me once again.
On the 7th day, I punched myself.
And that's the day I met Colteastwood. I can't even do my Morgan Freeman voice. Damn it. Like I got to get this voice back.
I'm telling you,
anyways,
when you're
the
out there
point is-
screaming in a crowd, stadium crowd full of people, you need to remember, I got to do ecstasy
3
one of
hours.
these days.
Oh, dude, I made
Magnum says I'd
Magcast,
be
I
more of
could
a
barely
nut
talk.
puncher.
Yeah, wow, Magnum, of course he would. Take the punch like a mad Magnus. But you know what I'm saying? So like you have to understand both sides of the coin. You can understand why people would automatically assume because of pattern recognition with this company. And you also have to respect the other side that says, hey, I don't believe that that's true, or let's get the whole story before we react to it or whatever, instead of attacking each other. I think if you both respect where each other come from, you can understand better why people act a certain way or believe certain things or whatever else. The people that we need to blame, as my voice goes out, the people that we need to blame are the media, have always been scumbags. Always. Because they do it in order to get, what is he saying?
He said, I'm watching this on an Xbox.
Watching this on an Xbox. Hold on, Boba Fett. Are you sure it's an Xbox? Are you sure?
I know you're not.
I'm just kidding.
I know you're not done saying what you're saying, but I wish I could push a button and you would recall something you said that I thought was so brilliant on this show. You said, whenever we see the negative news about Xbox or negative reports that are not true, what did you say we were supposed to do? What we were supposed to do? Do you remember?
Damn it!
I gave you such a spotlight for it too. And I told all my friends, it's like the most brilliant thing he's ever said. He never says anything good on the show. And that one day he says it and he doesn't remember. You said that we need to ignore it and not feed into it because they are just trying to garner the fight between the Xbox defenders, the anti-Xbox confirmation bias trolls, and they're just winning. And I really like Tom Warren, and he has to, he's has to make a business. A profitable business. And the profitable business right now is to pitch this it's kind of a non-issue. No one knew about dev kits. No one knows how much they cost. We're not meant to know that stuff. It's out of the realm of anything that like truly impacts us as gaming fans. And he leaned it in like Xbox hiked another price. They don't care about you or the games. It's kind of how it looks, right? He didn't say that, but it's like Xbox hiked another price with the dev kits. Now it's $500 more, up to $2,000, and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh!" Like you said, Mag, their first response is, "Oh, of course they did." And you said on the show,
they stepped in it. Yeah.
And you said, Boba Fett goes Tom Warren channeling his inner Mikey Barra. You said on the show that we have to try not to feed into that because it's a waste of our energy.
We have to get out of it. We have to get out of it because, first of all, it's not healthy for your mind. Okay, it's not healthy for your mental health. Just walk away from it. When people come after me, I literally I don't block. I don't even I just walk away from them. I see you later. I don't want to deal with it. Goodbye and whatever else. And I know people make videos about you. I see them because I watch everybody. I watch people that people wouldn't even expect me. Yeah, you wouldn't expect me to watch, but I watch them anyway because I want to hear what they got to say, and I want to see if what they got to say has merit, or even if there's a pinch of merit in there. I go, you know what? That one thing he said was actually pretty intelligent. I like that. So you pick and choose like a buffet of what you're going to of everybody's thoughts and feelings. One thing I want to actually say here, Keith Garlington in the chat says something. He says pattern recognition applies to the media outlets also. Yes. However, I will add to that, Keith Garlington. Welcome to the show, by the way.
Good dude.
I want to add to that the media is also wise to the fact and this is why I don't like them either. They're wise to the fact that they know that people will react because of pattern recognition. So they will manipulate a story in order to garner an emotional response. An emotional response will get you to click on their whatever, their video, their news article, their tweet, their whatever the hell, and then you go in there and start arguing with these people, and they love that. They're like, dance monkeys.
It's a win-win.
Dance. Right?
I
Go
have
to
to
Instagram,
say,
they do the same stuff. Cool.
I have to say on the Saturday that the reports were coming out from a guy who I trusted that the Xbox next-gen console was up in the air, that they might cancel it. I had a couple close friends tell me, hey, I'm pretty sure they're going to cancel this. They're going to bail out. Like, I don't know there's not going to be a console. And my first response, I was really upset because I want the next console. Even if it is a PC, I will put that thing where my Series X was, and I will love it. I would love to have that experience and see how those things come together. I was so bummed, Mag. When you say take the emotion out of it, for like the part of that day, I was like really bummed. Like, what am I going to do? I love reporting on all the intricacies of the chip and all the stuff. Like when Digital Foundry starts breaking stuff down and I'm making videos and I get so excited and rally around my audience and on the podcast. And I kind of saw all that like dissolving away. Like it was like walking away, like they were closing the door on that. And I felt like it was real. And then the next morning, Xbox PR is like, no, we're, and then Sarah Bond's like, no, come on now, knock it off.
The chat, yeah. The chat's killing me right now. I'm listening to you and I'm reading them and they're all making jokes in there. And I'm like,
emotional damage.
They're just getting funnier by the minute. This podcast is an Xbox. Yeah. So like you look at all these things, and that's what they want you to do. So what we should be doing as consumers, we are consumers. They do that. Listen, and they're not the only ones. Okay, you go to Instagram, same thing. What do? If you if you follow certain people or certain whatever, what does Instagram start to do? They start recognizing your pattern, your algorithm, whatever. They start changing it,
right.
And then they look for rage bait stuff. Right? Let's say you said one anti-police officer thing. Okay, you said it and say, oh man, I had a bad experience with a police officer. Let's say you talked about it out loud or you said it in the chat or whatever, right? Let's just say, for an argument's sake, all of a sudden you click on Instagram and you scroll, and what's the first thing you see? You'll see like someone, I don't know, like a wrongful arrest or something like that, or like a cop beating up an unarmed person, and
you watch the whole thing.
They do that on purpose. They do it on purpose to get you to rage and go, son of a click, or the other way. Let's say you don't like, the brick throwers, right? I'm not going to say their name on here because there's big issues with that right now. You know who I'm talking about. They start with an A, right? You don't like the brick throwers and this and that, whatever. And then all of a sudden you say something to your buddy or you type into a chat or this and that or religious reasons or whatever. And what do they start showing you? Rage bait reels. It is the same thing, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, it's the same thing that happens on Twitter, and don't think that these media outlets don't know that. They absolutely know that, and they're absolutely manipulating not only the algorithm, they're manipulating you.
Yeah.
So when you want to get real news, you want to get real things, you want to get real talk, then you talk to the people that you like to listen to. You hear on YouTube, you listen to me, you listen to Colt, you listen to whoever. You listen to Reforge, you listen to Dreamcast guy. I don't care who you listen to. You can listen to anybody, Iron Lords, all those guys, Boomstick, and everybody else in between. But the thing is, and if you trust that person, you talk to them, DM us. I've had people DM me all the time. Meg, I saw you playing Chronos. How good is it? And I will tell you the truth. Is it worth $70? And I'll say, you know what? It was close. But wait till it goes on sale for 50 or whatever. The corporation's not going to tell you that. They're going to say, buy it now. I'm going to tell you the truth. And I'll say, listen, wait, or whatever, or this and that. You know what I'm saying? Like they ask it, like we all should talking to each other. We should be, look at me. I'm the media now. We should be the media.
There's a reason why Xbox is always in the games media. It's always in discussions. Xbox stuff is trending. There's a reason why the PlayStation podcasts are usually just talking about Xbox most of the time. It feeds into the algorithm because they're like, people are like, why am I getting you on my feed? It's like, because all you do is read about Xbox, post and talk about Xbox, and the algorithm says, here's a Colteastwood video. Happens all the time. So, yeah.
I recommended my own videos, by the way. That's actually really funny. How do I stop that?
Well, that's a
Like,
good
it's really
thing. That means,
stupid. I'm like, I made the video. Why are you recommending it to me?
well, that's good. At least it's sending it out to somebody. That's a good sign.
Maybe
Lawrence
maybe they just feel
Linquay.
bad for me. They're like, just send it to just send
watch
it to
your own
Mag.
video.
It's, no one's watching his videos. Go send it to him. Make him feel better.
Oh my gosh! I stumbled upon a couple months ago. I made a Colteastwood Beyond channel, and I have 5 subscribers. And I put one of my shorts on there that I already had on my channel, and I put a video of Enshrouded that I didn't want to put on my own channel, and it has like 20 views. I'm like, well, there you go. Lawrence Linquay Hustle Rogers, thank you for being a channel member 10 months. Linquay Hustle, thank you.
As in like the Lin Kuei clan from Mortal Kombat?
See, you know much more than I do.
Lin
Said,
Kuei,
love seeing you handsome fellas. Yeah. I messaged earlier this year about being severely ill. Turns out it was black mold. Keep being the best duo ever. Black mold? Like in your house? Yeah, I hear that stuff's pretty horrible.
Let me get this straight. So the Lin Kuei has black mold.
Yes.
That's terrible. That's actually horrible.
But thank you for calling us the best duo ever. I don't know if I believe it.
Thank you, buddy. We appreciate that.
Let's see. We got Chris's. Danny Passion has a bunch of corrections for me about the ROG Ally. He says, thank you, Danny. He says, Colt, the Z2 Extreme and the Z1 Extreme are the same 95% of the time. The ROG Ally X, not the ROG Ally. I have it since day one, bro. Smiley face.
All right.
Possibly some of the updates to Borderlands have increased the performance since launch. Is probably another thing I'm seeing, but I will do more deep dives into it.
There was a hefty update. There was a hefty update to Borderlands that I got the other day. When I turned on my system, I saw there was a pretty a substantial update that happened. So maybe, and it was around the time of the launch of the ROG. So I wondered if it was somewhat related.
I mean, Dante and Holly and Fonz and I were running through the game in force for like 7 days straight. And the last update we got, the first week update ruined the performance. And it was like when we were on the last couple of days, we just it made the performance a little lower. And so I have no idea. I was done, rolled credits, and I wish the game was better than it was. G-Mania, thank you so much for the Canadian $20 super chat. It says, arguing with my buddy, which is better, digital or physical? You come to the right place for this question. I said I can fit 900 games in my $60 bookcase. Okay. And asked how much would it cost to store that many games on a hard drive or an SSD. So yeah, if you're looking at a cheap way to store your games, a $60 bookcase or shelf is amazing. And I know, like Red Wolf in the chat, he will never pull away from physical games because he loves owning them and having them and popping them out of the case. But Mag and I are pretty much 100% digital. My deal is I keep maybe 20 games installed on my Xbox, maybe 20 on my PC. I guess you have to wait for them to download. I don't know. I just like having them right there to be able to just turn on the controller and go to my game.
You just click the tile and off you go. Yeah. For me, that's the way I do it.
I think that what really the
Jenny
truth.
Passion, what's up?
What's up?
Sorry,
bro?
I'm just saying hi.
I think the truth of the answer would be do what you want, but PlayStation and Xbox mostly are not going to wait for you to catch up. They're not going to cater to your physical needs, and I am going to predict that the next generation Xbox does not have a disk drive and does not have a component disk drive. I think they're just completely leave all of you guys in the dust. It absolutely sucks. I wish there was a better way. There were rumors that they were going to have in their stores, they're going to have a physical trade your game in and get the digital code for it. I think that just seems impossible. So
yeah. You know what I've been doing, funny enough, as instead of using now that I canceled my credit card on all my kids' consoles, simply because of the fiasco that happened with Roblox and my daughter as well. So like I got rid of that. But you know what I've been doing is that I've been going over to GameStop, and I'm actually just been buying, like I don't even go to the gas station or anything to do that. I buy gift cards specifically from GameStop, and I'll buy like $150, $200 at a time. And I just keep going there and giving them as much business as I can. Just because I like, they're doing well. That's the funny thing. The GameStop near my house actually does pretty damn well because they still sell a ton of physical Nintendo stuff. They have a huge amount of people that go there for Pokemon cards. So apparently on Friday mornings, there's lineups of 50, 60 people waiting outside the GameStop for it to open to buy Pokemon cards. They're making money hand over fist in other ways.
Just like a huge line of people who've never kissed a girl, just like lined up.
100%.
Wow.
50, 60 people deep of all virgins, all lined up right outside. Yeah. Anyways, in all seriousness.
And Meg, you drive by and roll down your window and go, hey, virgins.
I do like the Homer Simpson. Yeah.
you put on the wrong vibe. Hey, virgins, honk, honk, honk in your van with the tinted windows. What?
Mag got arrested today. So I do that. I go
when
to
I walk by.
Ghostbusters saying, yeah, that's one of them. Mag is one of them. Yeah. No, I don't line up for Pokemon cards. So yeah, I expect the next this next PC Xbox integrated box that they're going to be doing, boxes in the name, is going to be a digital. Listen, I bought a PC. A PC doesn't come with a disk drive. You know what I mean?
Not.
You have to buy. They don't come with a disk drive, and like Steam doesn't have physical games. PC doesn't have physical games. They're all digital, right? So they're going to do the same thing. I think that they'll have an option. Be like, hey, listen, you could buy you could buy a whatever. You could buy something you could plug into it. Right? You could plug in a disk drive if you really want.
When I built my first gaming PC,
it's going to be a PC.
In 2015, my brother helped me build it, and I'm like, "Can you put this in here?" And he's like, "Why?" And I had a dual layer DVD-ROM drive from an old computer, like Compact Presario, that I bought. I bought that drive, and I'm like, "Well, I can still use it. I still have some data CDs." And he's like, like my MP3s are on data CDs. He's like, "Fine." So we had to pop out the panel, put that in there, and it made the PC look ridiculous in 2015, but It's over. Game Seeker with the Canadian $2 says, Colt, sell me your Xbox ROG Ally, or your regular ROG Ally. I don't know. I don't know if you want that thing. Danny Passion Visual, thank you for the 5, says, I think you're confusing the OG Ally with the ROG Ally X from 2024. I have the white Asus ROG Ally. I'm pretty sure it's a Z1 Extreme. I got it in 2023. It's old. It's one of the I don't know. It's the second tier one. It's not an X. So he says the Z2 Extreme most of the time runs the same as the Z1. I've had it since day one. So I don't know, but I will do some extensive testing. I'll actually go and look at the specs. I'll have them up when I do all that. So thank you. Grumpy Old Fart, thank you for another super chat. Says, is it true PlayStation might scrap PS6 to look like Xbox PC hybrid? Am I the only one crashing 3 times per stream on YouTube? Oh, I don't know. I'm hoping everything's been running fine for you guys, but yeah. Chris Stewart says, yes, I am dropping my review for Outer Worlds 2 at 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern time. Yeah, it'll be a wonderful thing. No, Sony's not going to scrap the PS6. You made me think of something else I should say, Grumpy. Is it true PlayStation might scrap? I want to talk about the price of that after we talk about Sarah Bond's egregious remarks. Let me get these last couple supers here. Aluminum, thanks for the 2, says, do we think Halo gets announced for PS5? Yeah, we forgot to say that in all of the stuff. Yes, so throw that back if you want to edit it. The announcement for Halo Campaign Evolved will be announced for PlayStation 5 and Xbox and PC. Probably not Nintendo Switch 2, I don't think, but they definitely should be working on a port later. Red Wolf Renegade, my friend Regula, thank you so much for the 5, says, respectfully to the devs, is it $200 for a dev kit for a studio that is expected to make hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars a drop in the bucket? Shrug emoji. I didn't want to say that, and I kind of did, but that's what I was trying to say. Like, if you're a small studio dev team, or if you're a small, like, upstart, it's kind of part of doing the business. But, like, just apply and see if PlayStation and Xbox approve you, and they'll send you one for free. But if you're some guy working out of your apartment while you're going to college, and you have $2,000 or $4,000, hey, I just need one now. I'll make it, and then I'll shop it to them. they upped the price of it. So that kind of sucks. Ace Artillery, thank you so much for the 10, says, will you be playing The Outer Worlds 2 this Friday when it releases on early access? And will you be dropping a review video? Keep up the good work, guys. I am still playing the game. That's all I can say. I am done, and I'm still playing the game. I probably shouldn't even say that. They're going to arrest me. Okay.
All good. You're good.
I see people break embargo all the time. So one girl was like, just
that's not breaking an embargo,
Gaiden 4. It's so great. The combat feels so wonderful. I'm like, you're like 3 days from embargo, and you have 1,500 followers. Why are you not publicly getting a chokehold? Like, hey, stop. So
exactly.
All right. So Sarah Bond did a small interview with Mashable about the Xbox ROG Ally X, and yes, it is an Xbox. We might actually get into that as well if we have time. I have proof that it's an Xbox, and it's not powered on right now. She said that exclusives are an antiquated thing, and that they feel like everyone should be able to play their games wherever they want and whenever they want, be able to pick them up and play them however they want. And Phil Spencer said the same thing. But normally, I would put some reason behind this, but I thought it would be a nice time for Mag and I to explain why Sarah Bond is saying this and why I don't wholly agree with exclusives are antiquated. The best and biggest games are multi-platform. That's without a doubt. There are some exceptions, but the reason why Sarah Bond says this is because they know. Here's how I'll say it. Let's say Sarah Bond's like, we should. She doesn't say this, but we should have some of these games be exclusive. And then Satya goes, why would we do that when our games sell 30% of what everyone else's do? Because there's only so many Xbox people and PC. Like, we're leaving out 60% that are on PlayStation. So no, you're not going to do that. You're going to sell them everywhere because we need to play catch up. But
yes,
this is also the same Sarah Bond that stood there, and I bragged about it a million times and said, with the big lighted display behind her that said Starfield, and she goes, and yes, it's exclusive. And here we are 2 years later, and she's like, we feel like exclusives are antiquated. Meg, I want you to have a field day with this one.
Oh, I'm going to tear her apart. She was told to say that. These guys are puppets. Remember that at the end of the day. There's always a bigger fish, and the bigger fish tells them what to do. They put these puppets and parrots right on the screen, and they just go, wah, and then they leave the screen. And then 6 months later, they say something completely different because the actual puppet master goes and tells them what to say. All right, so don't listen to them. Look beyond them. Like, for example, the Wizard of Oz? When they walk into the Great Hall and then you see the big hologram and everybody's staring at the hologram? I'd walk right past the Tin Man like this, and I go straight to the curtain and pull it back and go, I don't care, but I want to talk to you. You're the guy calling the shots, not this. Don't fall for the illusions. It's all a bunch of crap. Listen, they're going to demonize exclusives because they're in last place. Period. No ifs, ands, or buts. No, you can't argue this. And that's not fanboy fodder. That's not saying hateful stuff. I'm just being honest. They're in last place, so of course they're going to demonize exclusives because they're not selling them. We spent the first hour and 40 minutes actually saying some wonderful things about the Xbox brand over the last year. They might win Publisher of the Year, whatever. Yeah, now you're going to get the smoke for the corporate part.
Wait, this is the stuff you only say when you're on a PlayStation podcast, I thought.
Oh yeah,
right?
apparently, yes. Remember that, folks. Where's Astro Fartface there? I was going to say something more horrible, but clip this, buddy. I'm here on XNC saying exactly the same thing. But, people hear what they want to hear because they're stupid. Anyways, point is this. When you say things like that now is because you're saying it because you're demonizing something that you're not good at. Okay? That's basically what it works out. It works out to. Nintendo and PlayStation absolutely dominated the exclusive market for many, many years. Xbox had gems along the way.
They used to. For 10 years, they dominated the exclusives market.
I was about to get to that. I was about to get to that. Hold on a second. They had gems along the way, but the crown jewel of what Xbox had done. And what does everybody say? The greatest generation of the Xbox was the 360. And why was that? Because they had the biggest banger exclusives out of everything. They were only just the shooter box. They were getting content first before PlayStation. PlayStation was finally scared of them, right? They were threatened by them. They were terrified by them. Why do you think the PS4 came and swung so hard that everything they knocked out of the park? Is because they were terrified that that was going to continue into the Xbox One generation, except Microsoft, they set up their own fall with that one. So PlayStation went, whew, they wiped their brow and they walked away. But the best console generation that they had was the Xbox 360 because they had a ton of big time exclusives, new IPs, exclusive content. You remember all the Call of Duties even used to get all the maps exclusively on Xbox first. And it grew to a point that they finally were able to threaten the competition. Ever since then, they have not been able to do that. And what would you think was going to happen? People started saying, watch, they're going to start demonizing exclusives because they're not good at competing against those other two companies. Lo and behold, now they're going to go everywhere. But here's the good thing. The good thing is by going everywhere, that is actually going to actually make them a ton more money, which has already been happening on a publisher level. And that is going to keep the loyal Xbox gamers. It's going to keep their ecosystem alive for much longer, right? So you're going to get another generation. You're going to get new hardware. You're going to continue to have your friends and everything. These are positive things. And the reason why they had to look at it and say, listen, we suck at this. Why don't we do this so we can continue to make money for us and at the same time the ecosystem stays alive? These are good things. So they're not negative things. So you look at that and that's the importance. So what she says, I don't listen to parrots and I don't listen to puppets. I listen to the people above that. They're the ones who are calling the shots, and they're the ones who are making the decisions. These guys are just collecting their paycheck. They do their thing, and they just parrot what the boss tells them to say. And that's all there is to it.
Yeah,
that's the way I look at it. So I don't trust her. I don't trust her what she has to say. I don't listen to what Phil has to say. I don't listen to any of them. You go above them, and that's where you're going to find out the truth.
And someone said, who is Sarah's boss? It is Phil Spencer. But
who's his boss? He ain't calling shots.
I can tell you it really seems like Phil does not get to call the same shots that he used to be able to call because it seems like Microsoft is taking over some things. I work in a communications department at my real job, and a PIO or a PR person sits down with Sarah and says, okay, you're doing this interview with Mashal about the Xbox ROG Ally X. You need to make sure that we properly take on does this play all my Xbox games? You need to make sure that you properly take on why this thing is so expensive. And this is how you're going to respond. And if they bring up anything about next generation, you need to be prepared to give a good answer because you can't spoil next generation. So Sarah's talking points were, we feel like exclusives are antiquated and you should be able to play your games wherever because that lines up with the Xbox ROG Ally X and PC and Xbox since 2016, where they really feel like if you buy a game, you should be able to play it on PC and Xbox. And now it's handheld and phone and cloud, which is a cool thing.
That's fine.
Which is a cool thing. And to their credit, they put some of their big exclusives on PlayStation and they do amazing. Well, guess what? We learned today that Helldivers 2 was number 3. It was like the top seller on the Xbox for the first 3 months. It did incredibly well. And Matt Piscatella's numbers were off at first, and he did a correction today. PlayStation is seeing, wait a minute, if we don't have to compete against Xbox in the hardware industry, they're going to put out a console that we're going to talk about in a minute that is far more expensive than ours. So we're not even going up head to head with them. Why not just grab a game here or there and throw it on Xbox and make a bunch of extra money? And Xbox is seeing the same thing.
If it makes sense for them, they'll do it. But for the most part, like you won't see Wolverine on an Xbox. However, you will. You will over time. Because you're going to be playing a PC, Colteastwood.
Yes, the next Xbox will play Wolverine.
Integrated. Yeah. So you will play Wolverine in 2027 or 28 whenever they decide to do a PC port. So essentially, you're getting an all-in-one machine in that respect, except you're getting delayed versions of PlayStation games. You won't get them day one. Yeah. And that's fine.
Andrew says Steam is not Xbox. Andrew says Steam is not Xbox. That's correct. Steam is not Xbox, but that PC with Xbox PC on it, Xbox Network, achievements, play anywhere, Xbox first party, that is an Xbox. Today, they put out a trailer, and hate it as much as you want, and I've hated on it plenty of times. Xbox has changed the rules. If you've got the entire Xbox experience on that device, it is an Xbox. But guess what? The problem with people saying that it's not an Xbox is because they're dealing in the Sith absolute. They refuse to say and or also. And I'll tell you a million times, a Steam PC is not a Steam PC. It is a PC and it's a Steam machine. It's got Steam on it. And Xbox has Steam and Xbox on it. You know, my PC, lately, because of the new Insider Hub dashboard on PC, I launch all of my multi-platform games right here from the controller. Xbox Flyout comes out. I have access to all my games. I launch them. I don't have to load up Steam, wait for Steam to load up because it does it in the background. I don't have to go through with the mouse and keyboard. Everything is right there with the controller because things are changing. Now, what I was going to interrupt you and say a minute ago is I think Xbox has a few games that they could say these are exclusive and these are going to drive more people to our brand, more people to Game Pass, more people to buy it from our ecosystem directly. One of those would be Elder Scrolls 6, but I know without a shadow of a doubt that game will launch on multiple platforms. But
there's you know what, Colt? I have to disagree with you. Ladies and gentlemen, we are having a moment here. This is going to be a moment where we vehemently disagree with each other. If Xbox has a banger of a game that they know they're going to do well and it's going to drive customers, they are 100% going to put it everywhere because they know that they're going to sell
that's what I said.
Crap ton more.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, sorry. I was saying the opposite.
I said if they don't have many games where I think they could hold their ground and say this is exclusive to drive them over. I think Elder Scrolls is one of them, but they're not going to. They've already said it doesn't matter. Like we've said on the show many times. The bean counters have said, we can drive this many people to our ecosystem and make that money.
Right.
But we can also sell it on PlayStation. We get most of that here, and then we get all of that as well. So it's a win-win going multi-platform.
Elder Scrolls will sell 10 million on a PlayStation. When they cross 100 million consoles on the PS5, when they will very soon. When they cross that, they'll sell 10 million copies of Elder Scrolls 6 over there. You think they're gonna risk that?
Let me argue with you then.
Okay, all right.
I want to argue with you because I want you to defend this position. I think that PlayStation 100% has every reason to believe, let's just put all our games on Xbox because I think it wouldn't hurt them whatsoever. What's your argument?
But they don't have to. They don't have to because now you're going to be getting it. The ROG Ally X is going the next generation console, Xbox console. I will stand on this. I'll say it with my full chest, as they say.
You stand on my chest.
The next Xbox, I'll stand on your chest. I'll be like one of those constriction demons at 3 a.m. The next Xbox console is going to be a desktop version of the ROG Ally X. More powerful, basically more horsepower. Yeah. It is going to be a desktop version of that. And what can you do on the ROG Ally now?
Play PlayStation games.
Almost every game that's on PlayStation Plus is already on PC. Not all of them, but most of them, right? And they're going to continue to port them over as time goes on.
Yep.
Do you not think that they'll accelerate that? They will, but they don't have to give anything to Xbox. They're just going to put it on Steam and on Windows Store, whatever, you buy it and you're going to play it. So they don't actually have to port anything to Xbox. It's already going to be there. So you buy your next gen. It's worth it to them
to take the lesser margin, sharing it with Steam, because they can still have their cake and eat it too by selling their consoles.
Absolutely. But the thing is, they're not going to do it day one, and that's never going to happen. I've stomped that out a million times, spoken to people over there. In fact, one of the leadership of Insomniac laughed at me when I was on we were on a call. And sorry, I was trying to be very vague because we're not allowed to talk about that stuff. We were on a call. It was me and somebody else, and he was on there. And when someone mentioned that, he laughed and he kept laughing. He goes, "Dude, that's never going to happen." And he goes, "Just don't worry about that." But anyways, the point is that eventually those games will come over there, and they still do incredibly well on the PC side of things. When you get Xbox involved, okay, you get like however many people buy this next generation console, or they have the ROG Ally X's and this and that, and then eventually they launch Wolverine in 27, okay, or 28, whenever they decide to launch it over there on PC. Xbox gamers will wait a year. Maybe not. But if they have that box, they're like, you know what? I got a lot of other games to play. When Wolverine drops, that's a day one for me. Look at what happened even on the other side of the fence. They dropped a 3-year-old racing game on the PlayStation, sold 3 million copies in the first, 2 weeks?
Yeah.
right? And that was on PlayStation. So you know that a game like Wolverine, people can lie all they want in the chat, which they're not. Our chat is awesome. But I'm just saying, in general, like you can get people saying, oh, I'm not playing that Wolverine stuff. It looks mid. Okay, smartass. Guess what? When Wolverine drops on your new Xbox, you're going to buy it day one.
Yeah, you're just going to go over there and say, I'm playing it on my Xbox.
Yeah, you're not going to buy it. You're not going to get it day one.
You don't think PlayStation's going to go day and date on PC at all?
No. That's not in their financial plans, nor their future plans.
That really surprised me.
The only ones they would do on day one. Sorry, the only ones they would do on day one are live service. Your marathons, your Helldivers.
That's
games,
where it gets dicey to me, where they'll make exceptions. Like live service goes to PC day and date, and then it's just like after a while, PlayStation's going to have to really. Hiroki Totoki's like really hungry for that extra profit, like Microsoft is, right? Where he's like, stop spending so much money on games. You can't spend $200 or $300 million on a game because it's hard to get your return back quickly. You know, I wonder how long it's going to be before they just say, look, this game is we're going to consider this a PC day and date release, but maybe it will take a while. But
I look at Wall Diggity in the chat. He says, I would buy a 7-year-old Spider-Man on my Xbox. There you go.
Yeah.
Right? That when people get over there and they see that stuff and they play that stuff, they're gonna be like, holy crap. Even famous people like Stallion83 there, Mr. Achievement guy. He never even had a PlayStation. And all of a sudden he just bought one. And I'm like, dude.
He was on the show a couple of years ago. And now he's just talking about all platforms all the time. He talks so much stuff about PlayStation now. He's reporting on
because he finally got in the ecosystem. But there are a lot of people out there who never had exposure to that side of the fence. There are a lot of Xbox gamers who are on PC or Xbox, or maybe just on Xbox and be like, you know what, I never actually bought a PlayStation, or I couldn't, it wasn't financially feasible for me to have two consoles in the house. I can only afford one. And that's totally fine.
It's just weird to have two of them in there. Like if you have small kids, you're like, do I really need two consoles as a 30 or 40-year-old dad? Like that's how I was for a while. Like I remember being
I was too for a bit.
Yeah, and I'm like
my wife got a deal on a PS4. I didn't get a PS4 day one.
Yeah,
PS1, PS2, I got those day one because I was only a PlayStation player in those days. Then I went to the 360, and then I bought the PS3 on sale because you know what I did? They had this big trade-in. If you traded in like 15 games, you got a PS3 with Uncharted bundled for free. I swear to God. And so I got 15 games from my tower, because remember, it was all physical in those days. I got 15 360 games, and I traded them in. I got a PS3 for free, and it was towards the end of the generation. So what did I end up doing? I bought a bunch of games on sale because they were already out for a couple of years, right?
Yeah, that's
and
what
so
I did.
And then PS4, I never got day one. I got Xbox One day one. And then about halfway through the generation, I got the PS4 because I got it, you guessed it, on sale. And then I got it for like $1.99, right? And so then I got that. Then I caught up with all the other games. And then I got to YouTube. That's a little different because then we got to the YouTube space. And then it was PS5, Xbox Series X and S day one because if I'm going to talk on YouTube about games, I'm going to talk about all of them because I want to have everything that I can possibly have so that I can, I'm not going to be fraudulent and say, oh, God of War is just the same old crap, and I don't even own a PS5. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say that if I don't own it. So,
and let's talk about that price, because one of the things that we teased about was Sarah Bond. Her quote was, the next generation console is going to be very curated premium experience. And she didn't disagree with the guy who said, the rumors are that it's a PC console hybrid. Everything you and I have been talking about on this show for over a year has starting to come into light. And so Sarah Bond basically admits it's a PC console hybrid. She says everything, like you said, everything you get on the ROG Ally is going to be on the next generation console. So there's some conflicting reports because some insiders are claiming that the next generation Xbox is going to be $1,000, $1,200, even upwards $1,500. Now, because of the silicon, I put out this video. I wish a lot more people would watch it, but Moore's Law looked at the chip and he broke down everything. Kepler L2, who is a really good, really knowledgeable and very reliable hardware leaker, said that he can see why this thing is so expensive because of all the extra silicon and the design criteria. I should pull up his tweet here. Hold on, I'll grab it for you, because he rarely talks, and when he do, I'm listening. Okay, so he said Someone was like, "Is it really going to be that expensive?"
Yeah.
Let me grab it here. It's someone says, I don't understand the die cost difference. Explain the $600 difference, because Moore's Law claims that the next PlayStation, the PS6, is going to be a $500 or $600 console. And I looked at his specs and the chip and everything, and I'm like, how is he saying this thing's going to be $600? Before I talk about the Xbox, I'll get the PlayStation stuff out of the way. And on the show, we don't sit here and bash PlayStation all day. I know that's what they think I do, Mag. But I'll tell you with my utmost confidence and my experience.
With your chest.
With my whole chest.
Your whole chest, as the kids say.
There's no way that PlayStation knows that Xbox is going to be out of the direct competition in the market. They're going to build a PC console hybrid. It's going to be more expensive. It does not directly compete with the PlayStation 6. The PlayStation 6 will be the one sole console only gaming machine that plays all the multi-platform games. PlayStation and Sony know this. There is no effing way on God's green earth that PlayStation is going to try to make an affordable console to just to be super nice. The PlayStation 5 Pro tells you everything you need to know about the next console. The PlayStation 5 Pro is now $750. It launched at $700. The reason why I say that's the baseline is because the PS4 Pro was $400 when the base model PS4 was $400. Okay? So I am very confident that next generation starts at a minimum of $700, but with the price hikes, you're probably looking at $750 for the PS6 day one. Now, we used to laugh at those numbers. I remember I made Xbox Scorpio videos. This thing's going to be $800. And it was $500. But those times are long gone. Now, when you look at the silicon, here's what Kepler said. 42% more silicon than the PS6 on the Xbox Magnus. 20% more memory, which is expensive. Higher board cooling costs, plus they can't subsidize the hardware with third-party store support, meaning Xbox is going to allow Steam and Epic and on Ubisoft and all those on there. So the subsidy of software is going to be severely reduced. So Kepler believes this thing is going to be $1,200 and the PS6 is going to be $600. I am more in line with Xbox being, the next generation Xbox being $800 to $1,000. Reason why I'll tell you, and then I want to give this to Mag because this is where I'll disagree with most people. The Xbox ROG Ally X is $1,000. And the reason why it's $1,000 is because it has an expensive battery and an expensive screen and a form factor that makes handhelds more expensive. Now, the original ROG Ally is slightly less powerful than an Xbox Series S, which launched at $300. But you could get like the Steam Deck, right? The Steam Deck is a little bit more capable than a Series S. If I was making a video, I'd have this up on screen so you could better understand what I'm trying to say. The low model Steam Deck is around the same performance as a Series S, but it's $200 more because it has a built-in mobile battery and screen. And this is just the form factor. Handhelds cost more than consoles. So you have to use the same logic to say, if you have $1,000 handheld, why in the world would the console hybrid, which is just going to be a box, there's going to be silicon chip, fan for cooling, a power brick, and a case. That's it. Comes with a controller. That screams to me an $800 to $1,000 form factor, not $1,200. I think if the next generation Xbox is going to be $1,200, I think the handhelds would be even more expensive. But I might be wrong, but that's my logic. Meg,
okay.
What do you think?
That is very sound logic. Now that you've broken that down in a way that now that I'm listening to it, that actually makes a lot of sense. But I still think that they're going to target somewhere probably around the same price as the Ally X because of the power going into the beast of the machine and everything else. And I think that at that point, they're going to have people who are already adopted this price tag They may stay somewhere in that region because they've already tempered people's expectations at that point. So I would still expect. I know some people said even King David was thinking 1,500. I don't think it'll be that high. I think Moore's Law said 12 to 1,500. I think even that's a little high. I still think that it'll sit around the same price as what this the ROG Ally X is sitting in now. Now, by breaking down what you did. Just now with the handheld, those components are incredibly expensive, especially the battery, which would not be existent inside of the desktop box, right? So that already eliminates a cost right there, because we all know how expensive these bloody batteries are. Why do you think Teslas are so expensive? But that's a whole other conversation. But anyway, that's an interesting take. I really like that.
I mean, how much is the battery in the ROG Ally X, do you think?
Like cost wise?
Yeah, like if let's say
I wouldn't even know where to begin.
They
with
allowed
that.
you to buy a replacement for it. How much do you think that battery is? Just take a guess. Because somebody in the chat says Colt doesn't know what he's talking about. I literally sat here and broke down every minutia of why this is, and I made multiple videos on the consoles, and people are like, these things are going to be $800. These things, they came in at $500. I was always spot on because I'm using actual logic. People love to say, oh, it's going to be $1,200 or $1,500 because Xbox sucks. You have to think for a minute, and this is what Mag's doing, is breaking it down. So tell me, Mag, how much, if I wanted to replace this battery, how much is it for a new battery?
I would honestly think it'd be at least a quarter of the price of the actual of the retail.
I wasn't thinking that much. I'm more in line with like Steve.
Maybe even.
Yeah, I mean, $100 might be. Let's see. Here, Steve's using his brain. I love this. Sorry,
100 to 200. I would say closer to 200.
He says usually a replacement for an iPad is like $100 minimum. Yeah, and it's like $180 to replace the battery in your phone. Lithium batteries are very expensive. BT Maverick says $80. I would say maybe a little over $100. So if you're looking at the reason why I said this is the battery. People are like, oh, battery, who cares? That's $100. This thing would be $900 if it didn't have a battery in it. If you put AA batteries and loaded it up, this thing would be cheaper. Or if it was a plug-in only, it would be much cheaper. And the screen, how much for the screen? How much does that screen cost in the ROG Ally? It's not an OLED. It's just an LCD or IP panel, whatever they call it. How much is just the screen? If you needed to replace it and you went to like wholesale guy that doesn't mark up like an expensive price from Asus, like how much does the screen add to the handheld? Take a guess.
You would have to think that a quarter of the price of the quarter of the retail price would be just the battery and the screen alone. I think at that point.
Did I hear you not say it? I'll be right back.
No.
Okay. Well, hold on. What's going on?
You got voices in your head there, bro.
Here. Oh, I can't hear you for some reason. You did something.
Oh, that's weird.
Wait, no.
Can you hear?
No, you're moving. Why can't I hear you? Let me change my earbud.
That's odd. Can the chat hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Hold on.
I didn't touch anything. I'm just sitting here.
I still can't hear you. Something changed on Discord. Hold on. No.
Okay, the chat can hear me just fine.
Oh my gosh, I hit mute, I think.
Oh,
I don't know how I did that.
Okay,
just
that's
a
weird.
moment.
Yeah, I don't know.
I won't be able to hear you until I unmute this. Now say something.
All right, say something.
Oh my gosh, my Windows was muted. I don't know how in the world I muted it. I wasn't touching anything.
That was so funny.
All right, I'm sorry.
How
much for the screen? Everybody else knows, but I don't.
Everybody who knows what we're saying. I would think that a quarter of the retail cost would be the screen and the battery alone. So that would be that's already incredibly expensive. And what I mean by that, I'm thinking about a 200, like 250 for both, if not, not more, not more than that.
You're saying maybe $250 for the battery and the screen added is what makes the ROG Ally its price. I think that's fair.
A little bit more expensive because then if you add an actual retail cost on top of that, that would already be $600 right there. Right. That doesn't include everything else, right? Like you would have to look at just that alone of a 250 in order to get a profit off of that. You don't just double it. You go double plus 10%. You're looking at least $550 to $600 would be with the retail of just those components there. Then you build everything else. Those things are much cheaper, obviously. Thumbsticks.
Like the controller parts, maybe like $30.
The controller parts,
the buttons,
that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's not as much, and then of course the OS and everything else that's get put in. Yeah, it's all. Yeah, it makes sense. So I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the price. I never complained about those.
Apply that logic to the PC hybrid that just comes with a controller and the box with a fan and the silicon. It's like I think people are
funny you say that.
They're being a little overzealous about what they think that price is, and they're also pricing the Xbox hybrid console PC thing maybe way even further than I think that even Microsoft would want to do, but that's just me, and that's my personal opinion.
I had no problem with the price. And actually, funny enough that you mentioned that, I talked about that last night on Madcast, and I said I actually don't disagree with the possibility of it being 1,000 and more, because if you think about what you're getting, I'm going to break this up into 2 sections here.
Okay.
If you think about what you're getting, it's actually worth it in the grand scheme of things. You're getting a PC style experience. You're going to get access to your Windows, to Steam, and of course to the Xbox interface or the OS plus Game Pass and all that jazz. You're going to get a powerful PC on top of that. So you're going to get great performance. You got access to all those different things. Now, the other thing that a lot of people brought up last night, they're saying, you're most likely going to get VR support considering it's a PC. And I'm like,
True.
Good point. Very
Real
good
VR.
point.
Yeah.
Now you could get like the big time PC VR. By the way, PSVR 2 is now compatible with PCs. You can get that if you want to play the Resident Evil games or something in VR. Those are compatible as well. So now you start thinking about all that. And plus you're able to access PlayStation games through Steam and the Windows Store, whatever. And I'm like, you know what? That's actually worth the price. What my argument was beyond that. I said that actually, if you put it all on paper and you look at it, $1,000 and above, even if it's $1,200 US, is actually worth it for what you're getting.
But
the only thing that I was talking
build a
about,
PC at that point.
I know, I understand that, but I could see that too, and I agree with that as well. I respect that
But
argument.
your PC doesn't have.
However,
the
there's
Xbox
this.
games.
Don't you have access to like Game Pass and stuff like that? Yeah, you wouldn't be able to get your Xbox games. Yeah,
Your
like if
your
you had
Xbox
in your
library
and
doesn't
this
come
and that.
forward if you
Right,
just go build
right.
a PC. Yeah.
That's a fair point. What I was going to say is my argument, the angle I was looking at, and that's why I made the video this morning. I said, who is this for? And I didn't mean that. And I said it right in my video. I said, this is not meant in an inflammatory way. I said,
Yeah.
I'm literally saying,
real
who is this
question.
for? I'm not being a smartass about it. I was being serious. I'm like, who is this for? Who are you marketing this for? So you look at that, the Joe Sixpack who plays NHL in his garage with his buddies every Saturday night while they're drinking and this and that. They're not going to go out and buy an $1,800 Canadian console to go do that. That's for a much more serious person. So I think that's the 5% of the 15% hardcore would do something like that. And so you got like even a lot of Xbox guys reach out to me all the time. These are Xbox loyalists. And saying, man, I really want a ROG Ally. Shout out to my friend Oni. I was talking to him earlier too. And he's like, I really, really want one. He goes, but it's just not feasible for me to pay that much money right now with this and that, whatever. Right? Got family, got kids, got things to pay for, bills, kids going off to college and this and that. And it's like, I just can't do it. Right? And he says, I really want it, but I can't do it. So now you've narrowed that 15% hardcore. Now you're getting the 5% hardcore. Like I also said last night, Mr. Boomstick XL. Go sub to my friend, Mr. Boomstick XL, by the way. Go check out his channel. He did an unboxing video. And I watched the unboxing video of like when he got the ROG Ally X and everything else. And I saw all the stuff that he had on the table because he also had a picture of all the stuff. And I converted it over to Canadian. It was almost $2,000
Oh my god.
of everything he had there. Right? 2,000 Canadian. Well, you start looking at that. Then you're like, what are we doing here? Who's this for? Like, you're looking at that 5% now. So that was my angle. It wasn't so much that you're not getting, like, what you're getting is worth it. But who's going to buy it, right? And I think at that point, you're appeasing that 5% of the extreme hardcore that's going to go off and move on to that, into that next generation or whatever with that hardware. Or people will eventually say, you know what, let me save whatever, $250 a year for the next 5 years or whatever, and then I'll buy it, when it's a little bit cheaper. Or I'll just get a PC and just start over. I don't need those old games from 20 years ago. I'll just go off in this direction. And at almost $2,000 Canadian at my price, what Boom had on the table, you don't need all that stuff.
No.
Okay, you don't need the $100 carrying case and all that stuff. I'm just saying that if you're going to go do that, go to Canada Computers and they'll hook you up with a beast for that price, right? And if you're not really like tethered to 20-year-old games or 10-year-old games that you probably never play anyway, then just move forward with it and just say, you know what? I'll build this PC. And you think Microsoft cares? Microsoft wants you to go to PC. They're like, yeah, go. You could show us, boy. Show us. Oh, you're going to show us, right? They don't care. They want you
I
on
often
PC.
wonder about that. Like, how important are your 3 to 12-year-old games to you? Some of them are. I guess I wish I would pick and choose which ones do I need to bring forward. Like my Mass Effect trilogy save file is pretty important to me, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could totally just move forward and say, I don't have to have all of my Xbox library or my PlayStation library. I'll
really
go to
matter.
PC, but it's not that
I
simple.
started my, like, for example, when I got my PlayStation 5, because I was sharing we had one PlayStation 4 in the house, and we were all sort of sharing it, myself, my wife, and the kids, because we only had one in the house. Everybody else at that time had Xboxes, right? And so we would do that. When I got the PS5, day one, I started from scratch. I carried nothing over. I had no trophies, no platinums, no games, no anything. And I said, let's start from scratch and let's just go from here. And I'm going to move forward with that. My name was I Am the Mag. I kept that. That's going to be my name until my dying breath. And that's all that's going to be. You know what I mean? So I started from scratch and I had no problem doing that. Fast forward now, I'm up to almost 50 platinums on the thing since 2020 and doing my thing, and I'm enjoying myself. And I've rebuilt a library of a ton of games that I got on sale. I now game share with my wife, obviously, because she only has PlayStation 5 and whatever else. My Xbox, I still have all the stuff that I've had even from before. Even the 360 games are all still there and whatever else, and that's great. But do I ever play them? No. Do I ever go back to them? No. When they got rid of the Xbox Arcade, which really pissed me off, but they got rid of it, I didn't cry about it. I just moved forward with it because I want new experiences, but I understand preservation. I'm just saying from my point of view, I wouldn't mind starting on a PC and starting from scratch and just moving forward because really, what are we playing? We're really all looking for that new experience.
There's so many games I love.
I don't know. Like you have
I'll
options,
never go back
dude.
to, you know?
But I'm saying we as consumers, we have so many options, brother.
Yeah.
You're not stuck. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And like I wasn't pissed off when I saw the video yesterday with Sarah Bond, and I'm like, you know what? I don't mind. That's fine.
What about
you want to do a $1,000 console? Great. You're going to pay for it. That's fine. And there's no problem with that.
I told this story before, but I'll tell it again. It's kind of a name drop, but I won't say the name of the person. But I was at Xbox Showcase in 2022, out to dinner with a bunch of content creators and fellow fans, good friends of mine. Like Hargeet was there, Holly That Blue Number was there, my wife was there, Dante Moody was there, I think Sean the Brie, and we were all sitting around having dinner with a kind of prominent person in the Xbox division, and they said, we said, it's so funny because rewind back to 2022, they hadn't raised the price of consoles. They just announced the black 1 terabyte Series S for $350, whatever it was. And I said, why don't you guys, I think Hargeet said, why don't you guys just build like a killer $1,000 beast console? And he says, and this story is for people who haven't watched this before, but he says, okay, and there's like 20 of us at the dinner table, and he said, and we all paid for our own meals. Give me a freaking break, you Illuminati freaks. He said, how many of here would buy a $1,000 Xbox console next generation?
They knew then, Colt.
And I put up my hand, Hargeet put up his hand, Dante put up his hand, but I looked around and he goes, okay, I'm going to look around the room. He goes, all of you here are pretty hardcore gamers, right? And then we're like, yeah. And he goes, only half of you raised your hand and said you'd buy a $1,000 console. And now you fast forward to now when the reality is the next generation console probably is $999, $99, $99, or however you say it. Let me look at the poll I put up.
Get half the people buy it, which is going to be a thing.
Absolutely, Mag. And you and I said that, right?
You're going to have options. You're going to have options.
What's the poll say, Mag? What's the poll say?
Poll.
What's it say? I said, how much is the next Xbox?
The winner is $1,000, which I expect.
It's very close.
It's very close. The
quarter
next
of the
one
people
down
are
is
saying
1,227%.
Yeah.
So there we go. Shout out to Woodpit, by the way. When I was talking about game preservation, he's like, "I'm never giving up on Sneak King." Listen,
classic.
Burger King Xbox 360 games was peak gaming. Okay, I don't care what anybody says. I bought like whenever I went to Burger King, I used to like get like 12 of them at a time and just hand them out to people because they were so ridiculous and they were easy achievements back in those days. Man, Sneak King was peak gaming. Anyways. You'll get half that, but you know what you are going to get? You're going to have support for the series consoles that are still there. You're going to get support on your on your monitors, your smart TVs, all that kind of stuff. What did I tell you a million times when I got this new monitor? I turned it on, and Xbox games were being advertised. It says, play Indiana Jones, no console required, right?
Yeah,
it was already integrated right into the thing. So If you can't get in there and you still want to stay in the ecosystem, no problem. You just have to find another avenue to do it. But this is going to be, unfortunately, on the console side of things, it's going to be your only avenue, and it's going to be incredibly expensive.
Yeah, the expensive one will be your only option. That is kind of a bummer.
And that's just the way it's going to be. And they don't give a shit. They don't give a crap anyway. So that's the way they operate. Sorry, I almost said that. I almost went to Alex.
Knock it off.
Let me tell you the quote. Let me tell you the quote.
Yeah, go ahead.
The quote is, oh crap, I lost it. I literally just had it here.
At least you didn't mute your own show.
No, I didn't mute my own show. Oh my God, you know what happened yesterday? Speaking of which, by the way, I found the quote. I'm doing Magcast, right? I got my music playing. I got my my cyberpunk music playing in the background and everything because I run Spotify through Streamlabs and whatever, and it's doing its thing. And all of a sudden it says, for $3.99 a month, you can become a premium. And I'm talking. I'm going, who's talking? And I'm like looking around. I'm like, who's talking? And I'm like, is that a commercial? I'm like, what the heck? So I go onto Spotify and they're like, we didn't read it. They turned the auto renew off and it ended that day.
Right there.
So while I'm doing the show, I muted the music. I kept talking and I resubscribed on my cell phone and then it reconnected back on. Anyways, here's the quote. I thought it was funny. Here's the quote. The next-gen console will be a very premium and very high-end curated experience. She said very twice. You're starting to see some of the thinking we have in this handheld. Translation, it's going to be a desktop version of the handheld. But I don't want to give it all away. You 100% just gave it all away. So that's what it's going to be. And that's fine. I'm totally okay with it. I'm actually not upset about it at all. But
I'm actually excited. BT Maverick in the chat says, Jess Corden also said there will be more than... Why does Alien Squid write something and retract it? I always makes my eyes pop open. BT Maverick says, Jess Corden also said there will be more than one Xbox console again on the next on Xbox 2's podcast last week. So if you like to fall asleep, check out Xbox 2 podcast every Friday. Your daily dose of
I didn't hear it because I was already asleep by that time. Yeah. You put me to bed in the first 4 minutes. Yeah, sorry, carry on.
Jess Corden said that the more affordable or flexible options will be up to OEMs. So my prediction is that November 2027, Xbox's PC console hybrid comes out. It's the Xbox form factor. Got the light up box logo on it and everything. And then directly after that, Razer, Lenovo, Asus, Samsung, you name it, are going to be making their own boxes. We're already seeing them. Game Seeker has been sharing these small micro form factor killer gaming boxes that look like almost like half of a Xbox One X, like flat, like little ledges and vents. And you plug these things in, you can hide them behind your TV and you can game in the family room. And I think Xbox wants to take back the family room, with your PC games are stuck in the corner or in the game or in the PC room or whatever in most people's houses. And with this thing, it could really change things for a lot of gamers who are like, I don't play Xbox games, but with this form factor or these OEMs that are going to have Xbox Silicon in them, all of my stuff can be on the living room TV in HDMI 2 or 3, and I can play on the big screen TV and have an awesome experience. It really is a game changer. And Mag's right. Only half of us raised our hands. Mag and I said on here, if they sell 30 or 40 million consoles at the end of this generation, they're only going to sell 15 to 20 next generation. And like Mag said, they don't care.
They don't care because they're making their money elsewhere. But the way that they, like I told you back in late May when I talked to an investor, he said that their projections that they were told to them were 10 to 12 million. That's all there is to it. And these are the big boys. These are 10 to 12 million units. And these are the big boys talking. This is not like console war nonsense. These aren't people that are saying, hey, I know that these are the big guys. Tell me. And I told him when he told me that, whatever, it's 6 months ago now, 5 months ago. And I'm like, come on. And then he goes, what, dude? And he doesn't know anything about gaming. Right. And he says to me, he goes, Lude, that's just what they told me. All right. He goes like, I'm just telling you what they told me. And I don't know. But the funny thing is now that I look back at it on retrospect and now this information is slowly coming out, I'm like, you know what? That 10 to 12 million sounds about right. Another funny thing I'd like to say. Yeah.
Instead of losing $100 on every unit, they're probably going to make $100 on every unit. That $1,000 price point, that $800 to maybe $1,200. I'm really I'm stuck in the 1,000. I think that's probably where it's going to land.
People will find other
when
ways
the price
to
comes
access
out, no one will come back and go, "Oh, Colt was right or wrong." No one will care. We're just talking. We're just spitballing it. We're using best guesstimation. But I think that Satya and the whole team at Xbox they've said we're going to build this thing, and this is the price it's going to be, because in the next couple of years, every time one of those things sells out of Target, Walmart, or on the online, we're making $100. We're not losing money, and they don't care, because that's the way it should be. And PlayStation's making money on their console. I'm sorry, I talked over you. What were you saying?
No, not at all. I was going to say there was another funny thing. I wonder if it's just a coincidence, but last year in November of 2024, Phil Spencer said, we're not going to grow the market with $1,000 consoles. And the funny thing is, when he said that, I was like, okay, I thought he was taking it. I thought he was taking a dig at the PS5 Pro that came out that month, right? And I'm like, oh, he's taking a dig at PS5 Pro. And so did everybody else. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's not like they didn't know this was happening. It's not like it's not like they found out last week.
When did he say that though? That was getting shared around this week.
It was last year. Oh, I don't know what else he said, but he said
ago?
that last year.
Yeah, last year.
So he said we're not going to grow the market with $1,000 consoles. And the funny thing is, at the same time, I think he wasn't talking about PlayStation at all. I think he was talking about themselves. I think because he knew damn well then.
Their consoles cost like almost $800 right now, and that's a good argument against me for the next generation being $1,000 when a bland Series X is selling for $800 with 2 terabytes in it. So I mean, I could be wrong, and I've been wrong.
Well, when everybody was, they thought he was tearing a strip out of the PS5 Pro being at $700 at that time. Remember, it was $699.99 US. Right. And so I'm like, he's taking a strip out of them. I'm like, whatever. And I'm like, he wasn't taking a dig at anything. I think he was literally talking about his own plans, because it's not like they didn't know a year ago what they were doing. They knew damn well what they're doing. They knew it years ago. They know so far in advance of what they're doing. They may not know the price, but they have a ballpark idea, because they know what the components going in, how much they're going to charge. They have ballparks, and he damn well knew it then. However, it's not about growth. It's about retaining and appeasing the people who are there now, who want that experience, that premium experience, will be there. Just like a car, Colteastwood. You could go out and buy a $10,000, $12,000 Hyundai that gets you from A to B. You don't need the Ferrari to do it. But the Ferrari is there as an option. It's an option, right? And that's what I'm trying to say. It's an option. Doesn't mean it's a good one. I mean, it's a good one if you can afford it. But I'm just saying it's there. So you're going to get the small percentage of people that do that, and you're going to get the majority of the people who are going to do otherwise. Now, something they've been building for the last couple of years, as their hardware has been abysmal this generation in terms of sales, is they've been opening up different access points to get to their software and services. And that's where Microsoft shines. Everybody's got 365 and Microsoft Office and Word and all this other crap and Windows on all their different, computers, and every single corporation around the world and every office is using those products. So what they said, they're like, listen, we suck at selling hardware. No one wants to buy this thing. So what are we doing? What are we doing? And that's where Satya comes down and goes, and with Amy in the hood, and says, listen, what are we doing? And then goes, fine, we'll get access points to get people in there that they're not going to have that paywall, because they clearly don't want to pay for it. Maybe they don't find value in our hardware. The Series X is an excellent machine. It's a well-built console. It's a beast of a console, and it's great, but people are not buying it. And so therefore they're like, fine. So Satya has to come down and say, find other ways for people to get and access our services, period. No ifs, ands, or buts. Go and do it, get it done, and go do a little show and talk about it. And you know what I'm saying? And so that's what they do. So now you're going to offer that experience for that 5%. You know who's going to get it? You, Rand, Jez, maybe. Well, maybe not you. You'll get it anyway, because you get it for the channel and everything else.
It's kind of like this.
You got that. You know what I mean? Like, you guys get that.
For the everyday gamer. It's for the people that want the most.
No, it's not.
So Andrew in the chat
says, the bread
and
butter comes from elsewhere.
There, it's in Andrew in the chat says, will this thing have a Windows storefront or an Xbox? I know you can't see it because it's kind of blown out, but let me see.
Yeah, it's all good, yeah.
Hold on.
Have you had that on the whole time?
No, I just it's on standby.
Oh, you turned it back on. Okay, I got you.
So,
okay.
How do I show you this? Oh, I have to do this backwards. This is the same experience I enjoy on PC.
Yeah.
Where's the A button? Right here. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean,
So funny.
you get the full Xbox experience. Here's an ad for Ninja Gaiden on shoot. Sorry, it's backwards. Here's Game Pass. Here's the latest edition. I know it's blown out. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Like we get the vibe.
You know, there's Ninja Gaiden and Evil West. Like, here's all of the Game Pass games. And then over here, if I go back, I have to do this upside down and backwards.
Right.
This is my library. Ugh. This is my library. I have Avowed. I have Ball Pit, Borderlands 4, Spider-Man Remaster, like,
right,
and Outer Worlds, which I probably can't even show you that tile, but good thing it's blurry right now.
It's
they said only show the title screen.
Dude, the embargo lifts in less than 12 hours. It's all good. Yeah. No, that's cool.
The experience. It's the real deal. Let me read.
So you're going to get access to those things if you have the money to do it. I'm sure they're going to find ways you could subsidize it. You could do all that kind of stuff if you want to go down that route. But the majority of people will not buy it. And that's totally fine too. And they're like, listen, I'm not buying that thing. It's too expensive. That's why I never got into PC gaming. Console is supposed to be an affordable option for gaming. It always has been. It's been like that for decades and decades and decades. PC has always existed. I mean, back in 1982, my dad bought a PC Junior. Remember that thing? PC Junior 128K memory. I swear to God, 128K memory. It was $2,000 back in 1982.
Only at Burger King.
Yeah, right. It was $2,000 in 1982 because nobody had a PC in their house.
Oh yeah,
nobody. And my dad got one
that
because he got
IBM in the mid 80s or late 80s. It was so expensive.
Right. But what were the cheaper options? For a buck, for a hundo, you could buy an NES.
Oh yeah, I think
right?
It was
or a Sega Master System,
yeah,
or whatever. Or you took a roll of quarters, went to the arcade, and then on and on and on. I don't have to go through the whole history of gaming, but the point is that it's always been the affordable option. They have moved away from that, but what they are doing is they're going to have an affordable access point, not a console. It's going to be an affordable access point, but the premium experience is going to be a premium price, and that's going to be for a very select group of people. And it's totally cool. You want to do it? I'm all for it. I'm like, yeah, man, tell me all about it. I'll probably end up getting it. I'm not sure.
I think what we don't know yet, and what I would predict is that if there's these OEM consoles and we start to see, because you guys aren't seeing these small form factor, like built to game box things that you plug in HDMI and you plug the thing in the wall and your internet. This could be a big deal in the near future because the Steam box came out 10, 15 years ago. And nobody really bought it. They weren't ready. No one wanted a PC next to their TV, but now everyone's got a large TV and people are playing games in different ways. Like, if you start seeing these really cool little like form factor boxes that you power on with a button and you connect your controller or you connect your mouse and keyboard and you've got this sleek little cool little lit up box that has nothing to do with Xbox. Like, if this form factor becomes the new hotness, and Xbox comes out that year with their own form factor PC hybrid, and everyone starts making these. Like, it's not often that Microsoft or Xbox hits the trend. They always do it way too early. Everyone says that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And then 3 years later, we're all talking into our Amazon devices, you know? So Microsoft doesn't do a whole lot of stuff right, but they could really nail this form factor. And if you start seeing these $800 or $1,000 boxes that you just take home, take out of the box, plug in, and you get the full PC experience, Xbox could be right there. And I think you're going to see some major changes because PlayStation is going to put a lot of games on PC as well. So the market,
it's going to come down to choice, Colt.
Yeah, and when Phil says because if you're not growing the console market with $1,000 console,
right?
Actually, that statement, when I think about it right now, that statement is so honest and true. $1,000 console is not going to grow the market because not everyone. You covered it really well a few minutes ago. Not everyone is going to be able to take that leap from $300 like 10 years ago or 15 years ago. Now it's $1,000. Like now I'm out. Like you're out of my reach. I wanted to play some games on my TV.
It's out of reach for a lot of people, and I think a lot of people don't appreciate that, or they don't understand everybody's position. And so the thing is now you've got a situation though that if you do decide to go next generation hardware as a consumer and as an average consumer, now you're going to start making some choices. And what I mean by that is you're going to look at Xbox and say, okay, I could buy this box is in the name. Sorry, whenever he said that, it just makes me laugh every time. Yeah, so you can get this whatever it's going to be called, right? And you're going to be able to do all the things that I said, right? You're going to be able to get your access to Steam, and so you're going to get the PC experience, the Xbox experience, your Game Pass, whatever else. Which is also very pricey, but it's there. It's an option. So you can say, and I can also play PlayStation games, which you'll have to pay for, anyways through the PC apps. And I'm like, okay, so you can do all that over there. I could do everything that everything else does, except I'm getting delayed PlayStation games. Now, you look across the street and you could say, well, now I could basically do the same thing here on the PlayStation 6. I could play Xbox games, maybe not PC games, but PlayStation games day one, Xbox games day one, and third-party games, obviously, day one, and say, okay, but I don't have access to the PC library. If you care about that, you might go to the other side of the fence.
Most games are on PlayStation anyway.
Fair, yeah. But there are some Steam games that people want to access, whatever. That's fine. If you want to do that, then you go ahead over there. You go on the Xbox side. If you want to have access to all those other things, you say, you know what? I don't really care about the Steam stuff. I don't give a crap about the Steam stuff. I don't really care at all. For me, it's a no. It's a non-issue for me. So for me, and you look at it and you go, okay, well, I could do all this over here. I'm just going to get a PlayStation. But the thing is, now you've got this choice because there's so much integration in both systems now that now it's going to go down to a choice of preference and power, right? So if you want that performance and you care about that performance, then you might go with that you go with that Xbox. And then if you want, accessibility to all those other ones day one and everything else, and you want that console experience, more so the console experience that you get or something that you've traditionally always had, then you're going to go with the PlayStation. Right, so you want to play your Wolverines, your Last of Us 3s, and all those other games, and God of War Egypt, and everything else day one. Then you go over there. Yeah. If you want to wait, go over there. So like it's interesting that now they've opened up so many options on both consoles that now it's going to come down to price, and if people care about power, then power. But I have a feeling that power is not going to be nearly as important as price because it was shown to us generation after generation after generation that the Nintendo continues to dominate the living crap out of everything with literally the crappiest tech you could possibly get, and they continue to dominate. And why? Accessibility and price. So that's what's all going to come down to. Now, me, you, the chat, people like that, we are more discerning customers because we are the hardcore. We may not all be the extreme hardcore, but we are the hardcore that enjoy that kind of stuff, and we will go out and pay for that. I don't want to ever play a 30 FPS game for the rest of my days.
Yeah,
ever.
I don't. Yeah.
Right? So I will go for more power as things go on or whatever. I'll continue to do incremental tech upgrades in order to get the better experiences, better graphics, whatever. But the grand scheme of things and the general public always end up buying a Nintendo product because it's cheap, it's affordable, and accessible.
Yep. But well said. I mean,
it's
so funny when everyone talks. Yeah, I know. Yeah, me too.
You didn't realize we're coming up on 3 hours, eh?
Yes. Let me read these super chats. Grandpa Barbecue Game Cat, thank you for the 5, says, do you think with the difference between the two consoles next gen that Xbox need to release earlier than PlayStation? There was a rumor that PlayStation 6 was not until 2028, but then Moore's Law has kind of gone back and forth. I think it doesn't matter. I think they're going to launch them the same year. It doesn't matter. If Xbox launch early, it might increase their sales a little bit because of the excitement of new tech. But when they launch next to each other, then Mag covered that well. People will choose PlayStation, people will choose PC, and then there'll be some banding together because of Xbox's hybrid. Like some PC guys were like, maybe I'll just do this. Maybe I will be PC and Xbox.
It's an option. It's an option because you have those PC options there. So that's going to be very enticing for a lot of people. Or there might be entry-level people who want to get into the PC space and don't want to deal with all the nonsense. And instead of getting a pre-built and trying to figure all this stuff out, they would rather just get something that was already pre-built, ready to go. You plug it in, turn it on, and for the most part, with a little bit of tinkering for a few hours, you'll be able to get everything up and running.
Yep. I mean, I will always buy a pre-built from now on from Skytech. Right. They're awesome, and they've been really super reliable. I don't need to build one anymore. They've done
Canada Computers job. Does the same thing, man. They're fantastic. They're a great company.
If you find one you like,
Canada Computers. Yeah. You just go there and be like, dude, this is what I need. And the Chinese guy works there. He's like, say no more, boss. And he goes over and takes care of it, and he gets it all done.
Is he the guy
Dude
from Blade
rocks,
Runner
man.
that makes eyeballs chew? Yeah. He's like,
that dude has been running Canon computers for I don't know how long.
That's
He
awesome.
rocks. When I walk in the door, immediately he knows who I am. He's like,
Oh,
"What do you
that's
need?"
great.
And I'm like, "I need Cat 9, man. I need 75 feet." He goes, "Be right back." Pew pew.
starts
And he's
rolling
like,
it around
"Here."
his arm.
He's like, "I got this gold plated, this and that, whatever. Best you can get, best deal, whatever. Don't listen to the other guys. Don't buy at Best Buy. Always come here." And then he's the best, and he always gets me the best stuff. So, yeah,
That's awesome. Shout out to your local game and tech providers for making our lives wonderful. Falcon 784, thank you for the $5 super chat. Says next gen Xbox is supposed to be a hybrid console PC. Is it going to be priced to compete with the market, PlayStation's next console, or pre-built PCs? Well, I'm sorry I didn't read that earlier, but I mean,
well, we kind of covered it, but
and somebody in the chat said, are they going to lose money on this? Meg and I covered that pretty well. They know what looking into 2027, this is going to make sure that they do not lose money on it. And True77, great friend and follower in the chat, said Microsoft cares more about your subscription, but also they care more about you just buying from them. They want you to buy the hardware. They want you to buy the games and the microtransactions and the subscription services from them. So they're trying to bring... That's what's going to hold them in the hardware market. It's so funny that Laura Farah is like, nobody cares. They don't care about the hardware market. And a lot of these, Mike Ibarra is like, oh, they're out of the hardware market. I'm like, Mike Ibarra gets corrected immediately by Sarah Bond and Xbox PR indirectly. They tripled down at this point. God Emperor Silva King, thank you so much for the 5, says, I was a jaded, burnt Xbox fan. I would use Steam OS and pirate all of my Xbox games. I would make sure in no way, shape, or form Microsoft got my money, but you'll play their games, you swill. No, I love that. It's like, I'm going to steal all their games, but I'm going to enjoy all the stuff they make. And I hope that works out for you. And I hope you still have access to your stuff, but I don't mess around. I don't crap where I eat. I learned the hard way. I was going on those sites to like download music and other stuff. And I ruined one of my computers. I'll never do it again. Now someone's going to think other stuff meant other things. Come on now. Look at me. Carlos Fontes, thank you so much for the 10. Says console warriors say, don't buy an Xbox, buy a PC. Well, Microsoft makes an Xbox PC. Console warriors are like, no, not that. Don't do that. That's a good super chat. Appreciate it. Joseph Alvor, welcome to the early access, becoming channel member. Appreciate you so much. We've done a long show. Brad Smith closed it out with a $5 super. They can't afford to be more expensive than the PS6. They absolutely can. They're $4 trillion company. They will be more expensive than the PS6. Book it, and they will make a profit off of it for the first time in 20 years. And if you don't want it, wait for the OEMs, but I have a feeling the OEMs will be around the same price, but hopefully it's awesome. Meg, it's been a great show. I'm
show, man. What a marathon.
Yeah. I mean, after all you've been through, I was like, Mag, do I need to get a guest or get somebody to replace you since your voice is out? And then I make you do an extra long show. Tell everybody where they can find you and what to look forward to and everything like that.
Yes. Well, we're going to be, first of all, I had Madcast last night. We had some great numbers there. A lot of people came out to check it out. We had a good time. I launched a video this morning on the channel called Who Is This For? And again, that wasn't meant in an inflammatory way. It was just like an informative sort of video about the next gen tech that's coming out. So I did that. Tomorrow, I'm going to be on a streamathon. In and out throughout the day. I'm going to be trying to finish up Silent Hill 2 tomorrow because tomorrow night at some point, I would really like to start Little Nightmares 3 because I want to get that done before next week. Next week, courtesy of 4xpgaming.com, we are going to be playing Silent Hill F the week of Halloween. So I'm going to be doing a lot of streaming, doing videos in between. And I got some other plans coming up very soon. I'm going to be integrating into Twitch in November. So I'm going to be moving over there as well. Not leaving YouTube. I'm going to be co-streaming from YouTube to Twitch. And then I got a new show coming out in December. That will be Friday evening. So busy cat. I got a lot of things going on. So come check out the channel if you haven't already. And like I said, I put up posts and let everyone know what's going on. But for sure, I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of streaming tomorrow. It's my son's birthday tomorrow. However, he went out. He don't want nothing to do with us. He's a teenager now. Yes, thank you. And he's 13, so he don't want nothing to do with us. So he's going to be in his room playing and screaming with his friends online, playing video games. And I will do the same. I will be streaming as Mag's Halloween Haunt. Again, tomorrow I'm going to finish up Silent Hill 2, and then hopefully maybe even the evening after everyone goes to bed, I'm going to start moving into Little Nightmares 3. So there it is, folks.
Awesome.
Anyways, go check it out. The Mag Show. Have a great time, guys. It was an amazing show we had tonight. Absolutely incredible. So Colt, what a great time, man.
Thank you so much.
What do you got going on, brother?
I don't know if I have any other content, but definitely you all have to watch my review tomorrow. It goes up at 6 a.m. on the West Coast, 9 a.m. if you're on the East Coast. It's a good length. Okay. I can say it's 18 minutes long. What are they going to do? Sue me? It's 3 inches. It's great. It's an 18-minute video. I am really proud. When I do reviews, I do not phone it in. I'll just say this. The Doom one, I didn't like the way I did it, but most of my reviews have like 100 different cuts. So you get to see every bit of the game without talking about story or anything. You just really get to see what the game is going to feel like and look like. I hope you guys watch the review. It'll be up tomorrow, and I have a scheduled tweet an hour later with some screenshots. So I'm excited to share stuff with you when I get those awesome opportunities. So check that out. And I might be making a video about maybe the PS6, because some new developments have come up and everything's going to change. It's going to be awesome. We're going to get out of here. Mag, rest up.
Yeah.
Let me make sure everything is good to
Hell
go.
no, not resting up. We got things to do, man. We got people to entertain. There's no rest for us.
There's no rest for the Mag. All right, follow Mag and subscribe, and we will see you guys next week. Just a few days. Have a good one, folks. We'll see you on Monday. All right, where's the out button? All right, see ya. Other stuff. Downloading other stuff.